You can come out here. Shake them up, guys. Hey, we couldn't ask for better weather, boys.
Yes, sir.
All right? All right? Now, hey, you're the captains. It's your job to take care of your team. We don't want to get involved, all right? We want you guys to take care of it. Play hard, play fast, good sportsmanship. All right? Have a good game.
Yes, sir.
All right? Green Hill, you got the call.
Heads.
He said heads. We have heads. Green Hill won the toss. Lex to defer. Which way you want to kick?
Let's kick that way.
You want to kick that way? Y'all are going right down there? Green, y'all going down here? Receive right here. Check them up, fellas. Green Hill won and deferred. All right, we're going to receive down there. We still got a ways to go, so we ain't no hurry right here. Biggest thing is, boys, I learned this. Now, I was lucky enough to get through a state game, state championship game, and all year long, I'll be honest with you, it sucked. Every time I worked with the state crew, it sucked because everybody was tore up, nervous that somebody's watching, that somebody's going to get in trouble, you're going to do something wrong, and what will you do? You will screw up. Enjoy what you're doing, hustle, do a good job. Want to look good, all that. But make sure that you're having fun doing it. Otherwise, why in the heck would we be out here tonight? Of all. All right? If you mess up, I'll mess up tonight, I promise you. I'll do something wrong, I promise. Be clean. Go on and lock right back into what we're doing. If you do have an issue with a coach or something, do your best. Talk it down. You need reinforcements, let me know, okay? Unsportsmanlike, things like that. Let's see if we can get it calm to start with, okay?
Well, that was wholesome.
Yeah, we got the Field of Dream ref squad. This is dope.
That was lovely.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is proud to support.
What's that?
We had a joke before the game when we were out there. Explain what a muff is.
Oh, that is a good one. That's a football joke.
Exactly.
Yeah, my old coach would call the 1 yard to 0 yard the CH line. We always, every year we'd have a kid, what's CH mean? And I don't blame people for not knowing. It's a little inconspicuous. Face first into a puddle. That'd be such a good shot. Wow.
Minutes till kickoff.
I mean, we could yell to the coaches. They'll hear us.
Yeah, they would.
They're like, hey, man, y'all got a
Get
second.
him off. Where's our red hat tonight? There he is.
We picked him up at Circle K, 2 miles down the road.
I was at Circle K before the game because I think I might have a flat on my.
No way, you're
yeah,
me.
I know. What happened? Did you just call AAA?
The Tennessee Army National Guard is proud to support Middle Tennessee high schools and high school athletics.
We're working together to help schools and students get the most out of their high school years on and off the field.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is honored to join forces with MyTV30 and Friday Night Rivals to support the communities we live in, work in, and we serve in. Tennessee Army National Guard is volunteer strong.
Tonight's Friday Night Rivals matchup between two of Middle Tennessee's finest high schools is brought to you by the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law.
The rain is falling and the Friday night lights are shining in Gallatin, Tennessee, as region play heats up across the midstate and we cross the midway point of the high school football season. Tonight, the 2-3 Gallatin Green Wave host the undefeated Green Hill Hawks in Region 4 6A action. On the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law here on MyTV30. And welcome in to Week 6 here from Calvin Short Field. He's Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica. They're braving the elements down there, but it's football weather, Bruno, as we get one of Tennessee's oldest high school football programs hosting one of its newest.
And you mentioned football weather. It's football weather for everybody but the center and the quarterback, who are kind of shaking their boots right now, like, okay, it's on us really to hold it down. But looking into this matchup, you'll see that it's not an issue, and there's been a lot of changes to prevent these turnovers.
Well, let's get to the keys to the game. For the visiting Green Hill Hawks, Bruno, it's about not showing your hand, as defensively they're prepared to take on a very advanced Gallatin offense.
Yeah, the Gallatin quarterback and the offense, they do a good job of reading the defense, their personnel, nickel, linebacker alignment. So it's going to be important for them not tip off their blitzes, tip off their alignment. You're going to want to hide it as much as you can, key into the snap count, and brave the elements.
And Gallatin will look to keep the Hawks one-dimensional. It's a very balanced Green Hill offense. Got to take something away.
Yeah, it's got to be either the rushing attack or the passing attack. And you got to also acclimate the weather into what you're going to do here, because one might be easier to take away than the other. Now, that's up to the coaching staff to decide, but it all runs through a dual offense. You got to take one of these weapons away.
Now for the players to watch, Green Hill quarterback Cannon Burrows leads the team in rushing as well as being an accomplished passer. He does a lot of everything for this squad with over 500 rush yards.
Yeah, when you use the term bell cow and you look it up in the dictionary, you'll see this guy on the definition, all right? He does the running, he does the passing. He's like the one-man show. Now, it takes 11 people to run an offense, but he's going to be the bell cow tonight.
And for Gallatin, quarterback Jackson Stroop, he already holds the program record for career passing yards, helps orchestrate this offense, coached by his father, head coach Michael Stroop.
And Coach Stroop lets him know, like, hey, you know, you might have the record and it might be early in the season, but here at Gallatin, we're used to running the ball. We haven't thrown it too much, but they've been doing a great job throwing, and he commands the offense very well. He'll call the checks, and if Green Hill doesn't acclimate and they don't hide their stuff, he's going to dice them up, even in this weather.
Now, some key injuries to note here tonight as we bring in the third member of our crew, Sammy Kincaid, who's doubling as a weather reporter tonight. Sammy, how we living down there? What can you tell us?
Hey, you know, I said that I'm probably going to go try to find some rubber duckies out of my car from my daughter and maybe try to put a race on, you know, in the end zone. We'll see what happens during the game. But for the Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report, let's start out on the Green Hill side. Tonight, they are going to be missing Aaron Mattingly. That is it on the Green Hill side. There are a few names on the Gallatin side. Tonight, they will be missing Xander Jones, who has 2 broken feet, Jalen Ham, who has a broken hand, and also Alec Brown, who has a fractured C6. That's your Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back soon.
Hurricane Helene's not stopping us tonight as 2-3 Gallatin plays host to undefeated Green Hill in Week 6. We send it down to the field for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss.
All right. Green Hill, you got the call.
Heads.
He said heads. We have heads. Green Hill won the toss. Legs to defer. Which way you want to kick?
Let's kick that way.
You want to kick that way? Y'all are going right down there?
The Gallatin Green Wave will open up this ball game with the football. That is white hat Shane Qualls with the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss. Welcome in, everybody, alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth. I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline. It's a 4-6A matchup, the third all-time meeting between Gallatin and Green Hill, the undefeated Green Hill Hawks coming in looking for their first ever win against Gallatin. Teeing up to kick it off is Isaiah Quant, the junior, as he will boot it back to Ontarius Scott and Nehemiah Dawson back deep to receive for Gallatin. And we are underway in Week 6 in Middle Tennessee, as this ball will be fielded at the 15-yard line. This is going to be Dawson making his way up the middle of the field. It's actually Humphrey rounding the right sideline and bumped out of bounds as he crosses the 40. Legarius Humphrey fields it at the 10 and returns it all the way into Green Hill territory. And the Green Wave are going to have excellent field position to start things off tonight.
I saw Legarius Humphrey getting a lot of work on the field. I think he was able to get a traction. As you can see right there on his heels, the water is deep right there. So a lot of guys have to find their footing. But Humphrey, he kind of found it early on in warm-ups, and he was able to take it in stride right there. Get Gallatin some good field position to start off here at home.
Jackson Stroop will start on the 35-yard line with this Gallatin offense that is called by head coach Michael Stroop, Jackson's father, both coming over from USJ in 2023. Stroop handles the snap. Jaden Hoskins will get the first carry of the night, looking to push the pile, and he'll gain 2, maybe 3 on the play. Hoskins, the senior running back, as Jackson Stroop leads a Gallatin offense that put up 65 points in a shutout win against Warren County last week. Bruno, number 6, Jeremiah Williams, the go-to target. Maybe tough to get the ball to him in the conditions tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you said it about the conditions. We had a mishandled snap, some slipping on the block, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they operate this more spread offense.
Very RPO heavy, very advanced Gallatin offense run by Stroop, who already holds the record for career pass yards at Gallatin High School with over 3,000. It's going to be another give for Hoskins. He's got room on the left side, and Jaden Hoskins crossing the 10, diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Gallatin. A dream start for the Green Wave. And a flag is down. We'll see if the touchdown stands.
Flag back at the 30-yard line on the outside as we await our call.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, defense.
And you heard the response from this Gallatin crowd. They only needed to hear those 3 words. After the play, the 33-yard touchdown romp by Jaden Hoskins will stand. It's his 3rd of the year, and it puts Gallatin on top 6-0.
Hoskins trips on the initial his first step, that little back step you take to kind of read your defense. He slips, and then that dive was sort of a slip push, but Hoskins handles the conditions well.
Snap has to be handled, and the PAT is blocked. Max Kelly's extra point is blocked. It looked like Kaylee Isabel, the senior linebacker, is the one who got a hand on it. It was tough for Riley Ridings, the holder, to handle, and it will remain a 6-0 ball game in favor of Gallatin. And the conditions may be already coming into play tonight.
Yeah, when you talk about snap, hold, kick, that's an operational thing, and there's a certain time frame that you're aiming for right there. So if you mishandle a snap, even for a quarter second, it can be so drastic for a guy who's coming off the edge. I was surprised we were able to get enough get off on the edge there. But I'm also glad you mentioned, as we get our Friday Night Rivals scoring summary, only 2 plays, 35 yards.
63 seconds into this ball game, we have pay dirt with that 33-yard touchdown by Hoskins. It was actually Dominic Waller who came in on the block for Green Hill to keep it a 6-point game, and the Hawks will get the football a lot earlier than anticipated. As hovering back deep to receive is Xylon Beard, the sophomore wide receiver. He's already taken one kick back this season, but might be tough to get the chance here with Gallatin kicking it off from the Green Hill 45-yard line after the personal foul that followed the touchdown. Not to mention Max Kelly, the Gallatin kicker, headed to South Carolina to kick for the Gamecocks. Typically sends them out the back of the end zone anyway.
Be interesting how it works again with the weather. The weather being the X factor, usually I mention that it's the turnover margin, something Gallatin has actually struggled with this season. But in this game, the weather is just going to be an X factor. Who can handle it better? Who can handle this new adversity in front of them?
Kelly will boot it out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. So the Green Hill offense will come out following a 52-28 win against Lebanon last week. This offense, coordinated by Zach White, has put up 38.6 points per game this season, led by that man there, Cannon Burrows, the junior quarterback. Was the starter last year, came into 2024 as a mainstay, and Bruno, he has taken a big step, especially in the run game, with over 550 rush yards on the season, leads the team.
And Lucas, you brought it up to me before the game. He has eclipsed his rushing total from last season, coming into this season already, with still a lot of football to play.
Burrows in the gun to start things off. High snap. He'll hand it off to Zach Cartwright, the junior running back. Jets around the right side. Trailing tackle brings him down. Legarius Humphrey, the safety, coming down to make the stop. To pick up a 4 on first down as we look at the Green Hill offense, presented by BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary. Number 20, Nick Owens Jr., a big-time playmaker, stepping in for the injured Aaron Mattingly this season. Fumbled snap. Burrows has to pick it up off the grass. He's feeling the heat, and he's brought down before he reaches the 20. Be a loss of 5, making it 3rd and long, as coming downhill to make the play was Riley Ridings, who starts tonight for Alec Brown at safety. As Gallatin's defensive starters, presented by BMC Metalworks, you look at that front 4, Johnson, Morton, Boswell, and Parks, really the strength of this defense, according to head coach Michael Stroop. They've really emerged this season and had a big week last week with a shutout against Warren County. This is a 3rd and 11 for Green Hill to dig out of with an empty set. Burrows floats it downfield, has a man wide open. It's caught by Nick Owens Jr. in Gallatin territory. He is brought down. Ball is loose. Falling on it. What's the call? Green Hill will hang on to the football, catching a big break. It's a chunk play for Nick Owens Jr.
Mentioning Cannon Burrows' rushing totals coming in. He can also air it out, and we just find a corner right there on the zone. It looks like it was more of a cover 4 rather than a cover 2 with some man on it. The way it was played could be different because of the weather, but good job by Cannon right there, finding the pocket, getting the ball delivered. Starting to get a little bit of brown on the jersey.
This time the handoff will go to Nathaniel Brogdon right up the middle. He'll push the pile across the 30-yard line. Head coach Josh Crouch, in his 5th season at Green Hill, calls Brogdon their Lendale White in this offense. Might be useful tonight with the conditions.
It's a high praise. Any Tennessee Titans fans will remember Lendale White, also a great college player at USC. Became more of a power back later in his career, but a lot of people forget he was kind of a 2-down back too.
Brogdon, the sophomore tailback. On 2nd down, Burrows with his first keeper of the day. Read well by the Gallatin defense.
Green Hill versus the Green Wave on the green field.
Rain continues to fall out here in Gallatin. Obviously, question marks across the mid-state about what games would continue. It has been consistent for about 24 hours in the mid-state. Almost 5 inches of rain out here in Sumner County. Thanks to our Fox 17 team for that weather report. Dancing in the backfield, looking for a seam, and just dragging that pile across the 20-yard line is the Green Hill offensive line.
I'm a little upset they stopped it, Lucas. It looked like he was still getting forward progress as forward progress. I was getting fired up. Let's take a look at what exactly happens here. Balance. That's going to be a key trait that is kind of amplified at this point. If you're able to stay on your feet and just keep your feet moving. Gallatin, they're having trouble setting in to stop the forward progress, but the refs take him out.
Zach Cartwright on the carry, a BMC Metalworks first down for Green Hill. On the move in the Gallatin red zone. Making a move here is Burrows, and he is hammered down after picking up a few. The tackle made by defensive lineman Cortland Lavender, the sophomore.
Burrows takes the snap, just following a quick power. Let's see that ball security. The ball actually comes out, and Burrows had it high and tight. That's just one of those things you have to be careful of. I mean, you can do everything right in these conditions. You got to be able to play through the whistle to expect the unexpected at any point, Lucas.
Well, we said before the game, those white jerseys on the backs of the Green Hill players, not going to be white for long. That's already the case after 1.5 series tonight. Burrows wants to run on second down, able to shed one tackle, but not the second. He's driven down from behind by Georgion Parks, the junior defensive tackle who's really emerged this year, playing with this Gallatin football team for the first time.
Burrows and all the Green Hill rushers, really, they're having trouble. The Green Hill blockers aren't able to get out of the way, as we get a look at Parks right there, the junior defensive lineman getting the stop. But everyone, the line of scrimmage is kind of getting clogged by people not even blocking. They can't get out of the way. They can't set their feet good enough.
Here's 3rd and 6. Cartwright gets the carry. He can't escape the tackle out of the backfield. Micah Bell, the senior leader of this Gallatin defense, makes the play. The lead tackler for the Green Wave forces a 4th down.
I mean, what a play by Micah Bell. He's the backside linebacker right there, and he just shoots his gap and immediately gets lateral. He attacks the angle. He's not going to chase his player. Sets up a 4th and 6.
Bell, 47 tackles coming into this game, brings an important edge to this Gallatin defense that's allowed 16.8 points per game this season. Flanked by 2 backs is Burrows. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 6 as he empties out the backfield. The junior trying to fling it down the right side of the field. Nobody there as his man was held up. Nick Owens Jr. falls incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs. Gallatin will retake the field on offense with a 6-0 lead at home here in Week 6 on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. The wind is whipping, the rain is falling, but it's a great crowd out here at Gallatin High School to watch the Green Wave host the Green Hill Hawks, a Region 4 6A battle. That is our national anthem moment presented by the United States Marines. Welcome back, everybody. Alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth, I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline, braving the elements as well. as Gallatin is off to a fine start to this game. A two-play drive, scoring on a Jaden Hoskins touchdown run to open things up, and then getting a big fourth down stop on defense, sending the Gallatin offense back out on the field. Stroop will hand off up the middle to Hoskins. He has nowhere to go. Knifing in was Kaylee Isabel, the senior linebacker. Here are the defensive starters for Green Hill, presented by BMC Metalworks. Number 7, right in the middle, Omeza Danian, an alpha, the leader of this defense. He's got plenty of Ivy League offers. Maybe will join his older brother, Osize, who is a defensive back at Yale and played his high school ball at Mount Juliet. No gain on the play. Second down run up the gut is again to Hoskins, and again stuffed by this Green Hill defensive front. That time, junior defensive tackle Luca Nash.
Good job by Nash just to make contact, get low, run his feet. I mean, worst thing you could do at this point is stand straight up, as we saw with Green Hill getting a lot of success pushing the pile. You really need to make contact. Nash does a good job right there out of his defensive tackle position. Force a third and long.
It's his 4th TFL of the season. They force Jackson Stroop and the Gallatin offense into a passing situation on 3rd and 8. Stroop has to roll to his right. Thinking about running. He'll throw over the middle, incomplete. The intended man, Micah Jenkins. And it'll bring up 4th and 8. Gallatin will send out the punt team.
Those throws that are behind you, especially in these conditions, where you can't set your feet, those are going to be super tough. And anytime you have to turn, it's a very core-intensive movement. You got to get your shoulders, your eyes, but if you can't set your feet, it's going to be super hard for anybody to make a play on that ball.
Nick Owens Jr. is back deep to receive the punt from Max Kelly, the South Carolina commitment. It's a high snap, and it bounces out of the back of the end zone. Green Hill gets on the board with the safety.
I was letting it breathe, Lucas, but I wanted to mention before the snap, I was like, these are the most dangerous positions in these weather games, and sure enough, you have to take my word for it that I was going to say it beforehand, safety.
The elements already impacting this one. Green Hill will get it back after cutting the Gallatin lead to 4 on the road here in Week 6.
Welcome back to Gallatin High School, where they currently lead Green Hill 6-2. And I am joined by Sergeant Jamin Williams. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. And thank you so much to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. But can you tell me, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
Well, first off, we are a lot better and a lot cooler to start off. But the biggest reason is we are a big part of the community. People are able to serve part-time and still be able to be within their community and, be able to serve their country as well.
That's awesome. And what jobs can somebody have in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
We have multiple jobs, 150. Things like transportation. We have medical positions as well. Pretty much anything you can think of, we have it.
There's really a job for everyone, but everyone talks about the benefits of being in the military. But what benefit is specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So our biggest benefit is our Tennessee Strong Act. Tennessee Strong Act will cover up to 100% tuition reimbursement for any public college or university here in Tennessee.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you again so much for your service, and thank you for joining me. And thank you again to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, up to you.
And thank you, Sammy. Sergeant Williams. I think he sold me.
Sergeant Williams, I will never forget you. That was the best sell ever. He said, we're better and we're cooler. I'm a simple man, straight up.
Head coach Josh Crouch has found his calling as the head coach of the Green Hill Hawks. Has been there from the jump, a program that started up in 2020, and they are off to the best start in program history, 5-0. And it has just been a fun process for him to watch this program grow from the very roots, as that's head coach Michael Stropp of the Gallatin Green Wave, coming over from USJ last year, 9-6 in his season and a half in charge, off to a 2-3 start here in 2024. These two teams met in 2023. It was a 24-10 win for Gallatin High School, one of the oldest programs in Tennessee. Been playing football here for over 100 years. And tonight they host one of Tennessee's youngest. After the safety, the snap that went out the back of the end zone, Green Hill will get the football back, fielding it at midfield, reversing field to the far side is Omeza Danian, and he is well into Gallatin territory before he's dropped at the 40. So here comes the Green Hill offense again on 1st and 10, trying to take advantage of the safety that put them on the board, and a touchdown here would give them their first lead of the night.
If you're familiar with our Middle Tennessee Friday Night Rivals coverage, you'll remember probably the next wackiest game we had was Brentwood Academy and CPA with the double returns. Well, now, I mean, this one has blown that totally out of the water so far, as 6-2 scoregami going into the end of our first quarter, and perfect field position here for Green Hill.
Burrows will hand off. This is Cartwright. And once again, you're just seeing that push from the Green Hill offensive line. It was a big emphasis for Michael Stropp and Gallatin. Got to match that Green Hill physicality. And the Hawks leaning on them a little bit early here after a 5-yard run.
Not doing anything special either. I mean, it's going to be hard to incorporate anything like motions. They're just hitting it right up the middle with their zone game.
Cartwright will get another go. Not that time. He is slung down. Excellent defensive play by that Gallatin front. Joshua Johnson, the senior, reading it well.
It looked like he was a defense. It's one of those blocks where it's a half read and a half go. Johnson does a good job of settling in. He's giving like, I'm a settle guy, and then once the offensive tackle goes up, he immediately attacks and kind of cuts off the running back there.
It's a loss of 1 on the play. Burrows is going to keep here. He's got room to run. Cannon Burrows spins across the 20, and he's down for the BMC Metalworks first down. The junior quarterback with a chunk play to knife deeper into Gallatin territory.
Just a design QB counter, right? Nobody else. They're bringing a backside offensive lineman in the backside, either H or F, whatever you want to call him, back. Get Burrows in the open space, and he's moving very well, even regarding the elements.
He's going to hand off here. It's Cartwright again, swarmed in the backfield. And that time brought down by Kaysen Boswell to bring up second down. Zach Cartwright's really had to step into that running back role with Nick Owens Jr., the senior, kicking out to play more wide receiver. So Cartwright has to come in at running back, only a sophomore, but has done a phenomenal job for this team. Just having to move some pieces around with the injury to Aaron Mattingly, talented player with Power 4 offers. And Cartwright has filled in nicely, over 200 yards on the season at this point. But they're going to go again with Nick Owens Jr. here. A Swiss Army knife for this Green Hill offense. He's able to get it down close to the line to gain to make it a 3rd and short. They call him Baby Debo in the Green Hill locker room.
And you can see right there, that's a good Debo design play for that wide back or whatever Debo likes to call himself. I like getting the jet sweep out there too, because you're making Gallatin not just defend up the middle, but the entire field, which is going to be tough.
Of course, Debo Samuel, teammates with a Gallatin alum in running back Jordan Mason. Cannon Burrows is going to keep it here and dances into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Hill. The junior quarterback gets him on the board, an 11-yard scamper. That's his 9th rushing score of the season, and Green Hill leads it 8-6.
Man, I mentioned it coming into the first quarter. Balance is going to be a huge trait here. And watch Cannon Burrow. He can also give fakes while keeping his balance. And the Gallatin defense, they just can't get their footing to keep up with him. It's not like he's going super fast or it's methodical. It's very methodical movement from Burrow. Great touchdown for Green Hill to put him up 8-6 pending the extra point.
So coming out is Isaiah Quant, the junior kicker, 20 of 21 on his PATs this season. It's up, and it is good. Green Hill with its first lead after a 6-play drive covering 38 yards. Cannon Burrows with the rushing score, 2:29 off the clock, and they lead it at Gallatin 9-6.
And if you're just tuning in, you'll see 9-6, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's been a field goal battle in this weather." Not exactly. All right, we've had a Gallatin score off, and then we had a 2-point safety given to Green Hill. Now Green Hill scores, and then scores a touchdown to get us to where we're at 9-6 here, finishing up the first quarter.
Yeah, important test for both of these teams in region play, and for Green Hill, it's a chance to continue some incredible momentum from the start of the season. 5-0 with an average margin of victory of 31.5 points.
You can't say enough for Green Hill. They have the momentum, and momentum's huge, especially in high school where if you watch college, you watch NFL football, you'll know that a lot of teams, and especially the fandoms, the community, they'll call the season within 1 to 2 games. If you're Green Hill and you're looking at where we're sitting pretty, just starting out with region play, 5-0 is a good place to start. I'll tell you what sounds better, 6-0 tonight.
And for Green Hill, they're looking for a 3-0 start to Region 4 6A play. Been a 6A program for a couple of years. Started 5-0 last year, but finished the year 7-4. So for Josh Crouch and the Hawks, it'll certainly be about finishing strong this season, and a big road win tonight would go a long ways towards doing that for a program that has not started 6-0 at the 6A level. So Quant will kick it off. Humphrey stands back deep. He's going to bounce this to the 30, and it's covered up there by Micah Jenkins. Gallatin coming in at 2-3, as you see second-year head coach Michael Strop. A season-opening loss to Hendersonville, followed by a win against Station Camp, and you've seen a lot of balance in this offense, Bruno. 8 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing scores, and some close losses.
And their record's pretty deceiving, too, because those losses, the margin isn't too bad, and when there is a bad margin, it's just been silly turnovers, high level of turnovers. Also, Gallatin, their combined opponent record, much more positive than it is negative, so they're looking to kind of right those wrongs here tonight.
We'll bunch it up here and hand it off to Hoskins, patiently awaiting his blocks, breaks free at the 40. Jaden Hoskins ushered out of bounds near midfield. Jason Grant making the stop, but Hoskins off to a nice start in this game.
Just your pin pull scheme, the front side guard and the backside guard pull it out and get Hoskins out in space.
Already 53 yards on just 5 carries and a touchdown for Jaden Hoskins, the senior tailback. Strop will give it to him again. Nothing going there on what could be the final play of the opening quarter. Stopped by Cole Rayburn, the sophomore defensive end. So as the clock ticks down, Green Hill leads it at Gallatin 9-6 in a Region 4 6A battle. And we'll be back with second quarter action on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law, here on MyTV 30. Stay tuned. The United States Navy halftime report highlighting this week's Sonic Scholar athletes. We'll have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the nation, and much more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Steady rain continues to fall in Sumner County as Green Hill leads at Gallatin 9-6, and junior quarterback Jackson Strop will come back out with this Gallatin offense. Just one touchdown shy of being the sole holder of the all-time passing touchdowns record at Gallatin High School. He faces a 2nd and 10 here. Will screen it out to the right side. It's his favorite target, Jeremiah Williams, loose down the right sideline, and Williams pushed out of bounds in Green Hill territory. As we send it down to Sammy Kincaid for more on the Gallatin quarterback.
Hey, Lucas, you're talking about Jackson, and Coach said that having Jackson on the field is really like having another coach. Having his son down there, Jackson has always been in the film room. He's been listening. He calls him that he's always been a backup his entire life because he's always been in that film room listening, learning from other players, and also other coaches like Tommy Browder, who's been a mentor to Coach Strout.
Thanks, Sammy. Yeah, Jackson reads the game so well, and here he looks for Williams again. Nearly a circus catch at the 20 for Jeremiah Williams. Falls incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10, but Coach Strop even said, Bruno, that sometimes he finds himself having to pull Jackson back, saying it's getting too complicated with some of the concepts he wants to implement.
Yeah, and especially in the high school game. I mean, it's I've been in part of professional teams where it's like, hey man, right is this direction and left is this direction, right? So it is more of a blessing than a curse, but and any coach will tell you, you'd rather have to pull someone back than push them forward. So those are what we like to call good problems, Lucas.
Well, our key to the game for Green Hill was don't show your hand. Green Hill coach Josh Crouch telling us that it's a unique game plan going up against a QB like Jackson Strop and his ability to read a defense. You simply have to disguise against this Green Wave offense. On 2nd and 10, they'll hand off to Hoskins. Hoskins is tugged down by the waist, and Luca Nash gets up, fired up after a big 2nd down stop. It loses 1 and brings up 3rd and 11.
I believe this is the 2nd registered TFL for Luca Nash. If not, it's right on the line of scrimmage. Just doing a great job of his first step. You have to cover, if you're a big dude and you're chasing down literal guys, your first step, the steps you take matter, and he's doing a good job of getting off the ball, getting that first step, getting lateral, and attacking these angles.
I mean, a guy like Luca Nash has got to love these elements, right? Playing in a pond.
Yeah, I guarantee you, he seems like a football guy. He's probably loving it.
Maybe tougher for the centers.
Yeah, you just heard me complaining before the game about it, huh?
3rd and 11. Strop will throw under pressure. Steps up, but he is swallowed up and thrown down, sacked at the 46-yard line. Multiple Green Hill players getting to him, and it brings up 4th and long. The Gallatin Green Wave will have to punt it away.
Strop almost gets out of this right here, but that's what we're talking about for Green Hill. They have to disguise that pressure. They bring it just off the edge, far from the field. A bunch of white jerseys just fly by.
Cole Rayburn, Braden Flacole, the defensive ends that could share that sack at the end of the day. So Max Kelly back out to punt it. This time the snap is good. And he boots it high into the Sumner County night. And out it goes. And it looks like it'll be spotted. Well, we'll let you know where it's spotted when we come back. Green Hill leads by 3. Green Hill leads it by 3 on the road early in the second quarter as we take a break for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
At the beginning of every football season, a team sits down and makes a game plan. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help you create your financial game plan. Protect your credit while navigating real-life obstacles by paying off credit cards and bills each month. Financial goals requires complex decisions and smart budgeting. It's always a good idea to prepare now for the future. Like every great coach knows their team, we know our community. We understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you.
Green Hill offense coming back out on the field after the touchback. Punted away by Max Kelly. Green Hill will take over on the 20-yard line, led by quarterback Cannon Burrows, who's only attempted 2 passes tonight. He's 1 for 2 with a 16-yard completion. He's run it 5 times for 28 yards and a score. And they'll keep it on the ground here as Burrows pulls the handoff. He's got room to run, trying to get to the left sideline. Burrows has the UA Local 572 first down. UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. Another big run by the junior quarterback.
Yep, 2 plays in 1 right here. This is just your read. I love the plays that fake out the camera guy. You see, that's the power. Then we shift back to Burrows, who actually pulled it. He saw he had the one-on-one matchup, and whenever Burrows has space, he's going to take that.
This time he will hand it off right up the gut. Cartwright. Short gain on the play as Green Hill continues to keep it on the ground, and a Hawk is down after that 1st and 10 run. So we'll wait to get a read on the Green Hill player being looked at. And don't want to speculate, but found him at the bottom of that pile on a physical run by Zach Cartwright.
I could say piles can be dangerous in these type of conditions because dudes are just losing their balance. So not only like you don't have to worry about guys rolling, but they're just going to slide. We're watching guys kind of slip and slide 3, 4, 5 yards. As we can see, it's number 69, Ronan McNamara, the junior offensive lineman.
Starting right guard for this team. Take a look at it here on the run by Cartwright.
On the right side of your screen, you'll see, yep, that's the pile. And he's doing a good job of moving his feet, too. It doesn't look too serious. I've seen a lot more on the surface level with the eye test, dangerous ones, but that can still cause a lot of damage.
How many of those you've been in the bottom of as an offensive lineman?
Countless. I've been lucky enough to only lose 3 ligaments. I still got 1 left. It's the A1, too, so it's really important.
Great to see McNamara walking this one off. So his backup is junior right guard Wesley Murray, number 63, as Green Hill will face a 2nd and 9, still in their own territory. Zach Cartwright has gotten the majority of the carries, 7 for 22 on the day. Cannon Burrows in the gun. They'll keep it there with Cartwright. Good blocking on that left side as he sprints across the 45. That's where he'll be spotted down. Could be just enough for the UA Local 572 first down.
You mentioned it, great blocking. Number 65, Ethan Harris, was 10 yards down the field blocking. We see some good drive right there. And Cartwright, he hit the hole so hard. It was just hard for Gallatin to set their feet and kind of reposition to attack the run.
So they spot it at the 46. And across midfield is Cartwright. Another tough run for the sophomore. An elusive player with great vision, according to his head coach. Taking on maybe a bigger role than he anticipated coming into the season.
And they're going to need him too. It can't go all on Cannon Burrows because especially with drives like these. This is going to be a long, methodical drive. Green, as we see a Gallatin player kind of just drop down.
So a Green Wave defensive player will be looked at.
It's kind of interesting. He dropped super fast, so he must have just realized, uh-oh, I'm hurt. Back.
Did that ever happen? You just get so caught up in the action that suddenly you feel something a little bit later than you normally would.
I was telling you about redshirt freshman year at Tennessee. Yeah, I was at the bottom of a pile. I thought someone pulled out a shank and stabbed me in the knee. I got back to the sideline, took off my knee brace. It felt like I had a knife wound, but it was just my knee.
That is sophomore Jason Morton. Doesn't look like he's feeling anything in his knee, so he'll jog it off. And we'll have a 2nd and 5 upcoming for Green Hill, who hold a 9-6 lead. Like you said, Bruno, you look at the score line and it looks like a field goal fest, but it's been quite the opposite. A 33-yard touchdown run by Jaden Hoskins opened the scoring. The extra point was blocked, and then a safety with a punt snapped out of the back of the end zone got Green Hill on the board before a rushing score by quarterback Cannon Burrows, who certainly will be a candidate for our Bart Durham player of the game coming up later on tonight in the 4th quarter. Burrows takes the snap at midfield, hands off to Cartwright, and he is dropped. Looks like no gain on the play. Micah Bell, or excuse me, that's Joshua Johnson ranging over to make the hit.
Cartwright any more outside in this play. Cartwright had a lot of success attacking in between the tackles, but you see he just goes outside, and that's looks like the corners are able to go out and force him back in. Great job by the Gallatin edge setting.
No gain, and Green Hill needs 5 to convert the first down. Cartwright runs into a wall, driven back. He's not going to get it. Legarius Humphrey in on the stop. Preston Mooney, the sophomore, got there first, and it brings up 4th down. Green Hill's offense will stay on the field for the moment.
There was a small window there where you could have fit through, but powers are tough, especially in these conditions, because you really have to attack the line of scrimmage. You can't jog through it. Can't go through the motions as we set up another 4th and short.
3 yards to go. Burrows looking over for the call from his offensive coordinator, Zach White. And Green Hill will take the timeout. It'll be the first one of the first half, and we'll take one with them. Green Hill up 3, facing a 4th down when we come back on MyTV 30.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham, and Sonic, who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you, the viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecasts: the United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Green Hill and our host, Gallatin High School.
In a 4-6A battle in Gallatin, Tennessee, Green Hill leads Gallatin 9-6. Midway through the 2nd quarter, the Hawks lined up to go for it, tried to draw off the Gallatin defense, didn't work. Called a timeout, and they'll punt it away. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you. Sammy Kincaid patrolling the sidelines under the rain that has been steady since kickoff, and it's a fake. It's a fake running up the middle, and with the first down is Omeza Danian. Some trickery on special teams, and Green Hill converts the UA local 572 first down to keep the drive alive.
I've never seen anything like that. That could go viral. You're seeing that on the national report next week. Watch him through. He puts it in between his legs, hiding it, and then pulls it right out. I've never seen anything like. I thought I've seen everything in this game, but it just so happens that some of the best innovation you'll see is in Middle Tennessee after the remnants of a hurricane hit on a Friday night.
What a design on special teams, and Green Hill's offense will come back out for 1st and 10. Burrows wants to throw, wanted to screen it out, and it falls incomplete. And the Green Hill sideline will breathe a sigh of relief that wasn't a turnover after an electric fake punt. And special teams has been a strength for this Green Hill football team so far this season. They've recovered an onside kick. They've converted a fake extra point for a 2-point conversion, and that's their second fake punt conversion of the season.
That speaks to the discipline that this Green Hill team has, too, to kind of learn all these trick plays. Talk to any high school coach. Installing a new play can be a headache, but they're doing well.
Burrows has to fight through a trailing tackle. Picks up a few on the play. Tackle made by Elijah Street. No correction. Johnson on the stop again. Burrows picks up 4. Anytime you think you've seen it all, Tennessee high school football says, I don't think so.
I'd be interested to know if that's an original concept or if they found that in the ancient archives of footballism somewhere. Maybe Canada.
Timeout on the field. Another timeout taken by Green Hill. Their second one of the half. With a big 3rd down upcoming. Stay with us. The U.S. Navy halftime report coming up. Plenty of high school football action to check in on around week 6. We'll highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the nation, and much more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. So Green Hill going to huddle up and talk about this 3rd and 6. You got to think anytime you convert a fake punt like that, you desperately want to keep the drive alive and get some points out of it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than kind of busting out your, for your Philly special, if you ever seen that in the Super Bowl or your condo, and it works, but you can't follow up and finish either the drive or the score or the game. It's kind of do or die, it feels like sometimes as an offensive player, the weight on your shoulders to just figure it out and convert. But it is a much more manageable 3rd down being at around the 6-yard line. A lot of your routes very naturally settle in about a yard past the marker to go.
Both teams have had to be very one-dimensional tonight. We'll see if Green Hill decides to put it in the air here. With 6 yards to go, they won't. Burrows on the run, has room, left side, has the first down as he's bumped out of bounds at the 30. It's a UA Local 572 first down run by Burrows. UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry.
Green Hill in these downs, it's just so confusing because they will run the ball at 36. It's not something that you would think conventionally, but they do it well. And if you're Gallatin, you want to always keep things in front of you. You don't want to give up the pass. So you're defending the pass, and then you just give a guy like Burrow too much footwork.
Head coach Michael Stropp looks on at his Green Wave defense, trying to put an end to this Green Hill drive. Hawks playing with a 3-point lead. Burrows bursting through the middle, still on his feet at the 20. That's a 10-yard first down run by Cannon Burrows. He's up to 65 rush yards on the night. And the junior quarterback starting to pick up some momentum in the run game.
On this gap scheme, they actually have, so it's a power with a little bit of a sift block, and that sift block gets up the middle into the backside and gives a lot of room for Burrow. Burrow being a threat to pull on normally his reads to the outside. That one, he can take it up the middle, designed as well.
He is officially over 600 rush yards on the season. Cannon Burrows, well over a career high. Low snap here. It's picked up off the ground by Cartwright. He may have something. 15, 10, looking for the edge. He's got it. Zach Cartwright improvising for the score. And it's a 20-yard scamper by the sophomore. Green Hill extends its lead.
Cartwright on the score for Green Hill.
The right side of the offensive line, make it happen. Watch the right side of the Green Hills. So you have this just messed up play. But on the right side, they're able to get so much push that it doesn't even matter. It's a free run right to the end zone. And those are the best plays, Lucas, I'll tell you. When you're on offense and you're like, oh no, and then you go, oh yes!
That's the 4th touchdown of the season for the sophomore, Zach Cartwright. Quant back out for the extra point. Nick Owens Jr., the holder. The PAT is up and good, and Green Hill extends its lead to 10 with 4:41 to play in the second quarter. The Hawks converting a fake punt on the drive and turning it into 7 with Zach Cartwright scooping it off the wet grass and running it in. Not sure if it was supposed to go to him, Bruno, but the Hawks will take it either way.
Handed off by the grass on the ground.
Special teams have come up time and time again all season for Green Hill and tonight. A blocked PAT after Gallatin's opening touchdown on the first series of the night. Of course, you got the safety from the snap that went out the back of the end zone, and then the fake punt conversion to lead to a touchdown.
They tell you in the game of football you have to have short-term memory from an individual and a team standpoint. You don't want momentum to carry the game too much, but in a game like this, you have to have goldfish memory. I mean, don't even think about the bad or the good. Play on your instincts and your discipline.
Talking about 10 of Green Hill's 16 points attributed to special teams tonight. 12-play drive, 80 yards, over 5 minutes off the clock. You know, we talked about Gallatin's need to make the Hawks one-dimensional. They've been one-dimensional tonight, but probably not in the way Gallatin would have envisioned.
It's weird. They've opened up a new dimension, I would say. So in the first dimension of Green Hill, not to get too esoteric on our audience, but their rushing attack, it's just so balanced. You have the outside, you have the inside, you have the zone, the gap scheme, the quarterback read pool. They just have so many options.
This kick will be squibbed out of bounds on the near sideline, so the flag will fly, and Gallatin will have good field position here with 4:41 to go in the second. What dimension is special teams? I feel like special teams deserves a dimension.
That really is the third dimension, I guess. Well, maybe the fourth.
So Gallatin will look to formulate a response here for an offense that is used to being balanced in that RPO game and the passing attack. Just so much harder to execute with the driving rain all night.
And the rain, it's weird because the rain is kind of settled, pounded, settled, pounded. It's just hard for them to settle into something that works. They just haven't found that consistency yet.
Loaded backfield here around quarterback Jackson Straub. Hands it off to Hoskins. And he's tackled by cornerback Dom Waller. Waller, an outfielder on the baseball team, had never played football. Was recruited by his head coach, Josh Crouch, that has made a habit of that, recruiting players from other sports and around the building. We'll hear more from Sammy Kincaid on that later on tonight. 2nd and 7. Hoskins again. Finds a seam. And able to push forward for a few to create a 3rd and short, and it feels like Gallatin just trying to line up and hammer it now.
Just a reminder, too, Gallatin received, so we have about just under 4 minutes left in the second half. This drive is so important. They have to convert this 3rd down, or else Green Hill will have another chance at the end zone, then come back out, receive out. Gallatin has a chance right here to operate a 4-minute offense, drive down the length of the field, and probably get out at halftime with some points and close down that lead.
Big 3rd and 2 here for the Gallatin offense, and there's early movement. Green Hill players celebrating. We'll hear from Shane Qualls. False start on Gallatin makes a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 7.
Tell you what, number 99, Luke Nash, we've seen him get 2 TFLs already tonight. I haven't seen him celebrate harder than when Gallatin messes up the operation on a simple penalty. Green Hill fired up to try and get off the field and get their offense the ball again.
We'll see if that forces Jackson Straub to put it in the air. The all-time leading passer in Gallatin high school history. Strop adjusting the play. Looks left, lobs it down the left side, incomplete, and there's the flag. Intended for Ontarius Scott. Will Milner, the safety in coverage, and the Green Wave may get a UA Local 572 first down on the penalty.
It was a good job by Strop to just get it out. He had some pressure in his face right there, so he gave his guy
interference on the defense. Be 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Pass interference is one of those where it is to the ref's discretion. I would say that was not pass interference. You can't just run into the defender and expect to get a call. But in our pregame speech we had with the ref circle that they didn't know I was eavesdropping in, they said, hey, it's nasty weather and we'll make some mistakes tonight. So I believe they made a mistake, but whatever the refs say go, they can't make it.
And Gallatin has a UA Local 572 first down into Green Hill territory on a massive second quarter drive. Hoskins pushes across the 40. He's met by a pile, and they'll spot him at the 39-yard line. That puts Jaden Hoskins over 60 rush yards on the night. And you see number 99, Luca Nash, lost his helmet on the play, so he'll have to come out for a snap. Replaced by Zach Presley. And Nash has been monumental in the middle of that Green Hill defense. Wonder if Gallatin goes for that spot here on 2nd and 6.
Number 64, Zach Presley. Wearing an offensive lineman number on the defensive line. A little deception there, perhaps.
Strop. Low snap. And then they put in junior center Jeremiah Dawson, wearing number 58 there in green, in the Warren County game, and it improved drastically in that 65-0 win. But then, of course, you layer in the elements tonight. Strop was able to turn that one into a 2-yard gain, and he hands off to Hoskins here, just trying to bully his way forward. Breaks free across the 30. The ball is out. Green Hill bodies might have fallen on it to keep this drive alive, and they did. Gallatin bodies, excuse me. Thank you, Bruno.
You got a lot on your plate, so I'll save you up. Don't worry, all right?
Eli Hansen saves the drive for Gallatin.
I mean, the ball's high and tight, too. It's just so hard to control that at times where you feel like it's secure, it's not. And that's just a great job by the entire Gallatin team. The worst thing you can do as an offensive player is do your block and then be like, okay, I'm done, and sit in the backfield. You have to follow for any situation like that. Turnovers, drops. You could be the guy that makes the play, and they saved this drive here going into the second half.
We're under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Whistles before Strop can hand it off to Cage Johnson, who is about to get a turn.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
Can hear that wind whipping around our white hat, Shane Qualls. My goodness. And it's no wonder both teams have kept it on the ground tonight.
I'll tell you what, Lucas, we live in our own little bubble right here up in the booth. It's good to hear that wind, so that way we can understand what these guys are playing in.
The outer arms of Hurricane Helene reaching up and touching Middle Tennessee tonight. Strop will put it in the air here, and it's dropped as he floated it out to Joshua Johnson. Couldn't hang on. It brings up 2nd and 5.
It's just so hard to get your route concepts and your pass pro set and your pass set protection footwork. I mean, these guys are playing on a slip and slide. Pick out any individual on the team or on the field right now, any 22. Even the officials, there's a lot of slipping and sliding going on right now.
Stay with us in the fourth quarter. Tonight we'll be highlighting the Bass Tire stop of the game. Bass Tire serving Nashville for over 35 years. Cage Johnson runs into a white wall there and is dropped inside the 20. It'll set up a 3rd down for the Green Wave. And a timeout on the field. With 1:17 left, it'll be taken by Gallatin. First one of the half taken by head coach Michael Strop and the Green Wave. We want to talk about this big 3rd down in the red zone here. as they try to get back on the board. Opened up the scoring on the opening drive. Only a 2-play drive after a phenomenal kick return to set them up in Green Hill territory by Legarius Humphrey. Jaden Hoskins ran it in from 33 yards. The extra point was blocked. And then Green Hill rattled off 16 unanswered in a very special teams aided run. A big chance for Gallatin to cut into the lead here. As you said, they'll be kicking it back to Green Hill to start the third quarter.
Things are also starting to get a little chippy out there, Lucas. Now, I eavesdropped on the refs, and they said, hey, if there's anything, call it early so that way we can set the tone. And my policy on that is if you let me sneak up on you, then anything goes to be put on air. So, I'm a big man. You deserve it at that point.
Did you pick up anything else from that conversation?
No. Other than getting fired up, it was a beautiful speech.
Here we go. 3rd and 5.
I thought I lost my highest.
Ball on the 18.
If you going in and out, you may have to signal me. Just so you know.
Copy.
Man in motion. Coming across is Mooney, the H-back.
Probably as far as I can go, so I'll be out.
Strop will hand it off, swallowed up in the backfield, nowhere to go. Nehemiah Dawson on his first carry of the night, and guess who? Luka Nash thumping his chest after his 3rd TFL of the night.
You see the rain pouring, and exactly what happens here. It looks like they just missed blocking because there's free runners coming right off the middle. It looked like they wanted to go for a pin and pull scheme, but you really couldn't tell. There had to be a misassignment somewhere in there for so many white jerseys to come free. I mean, Luka Nash, have yourself a game, young, and 3rd TFL of the night, and it's not even halftime.
Clock will keep moving. Under 45 seconds now as the offense is still out there. And you've got a great kicker in Max Kelly, who has a long of 51 this season, committed to South Carolina, but at this point, the elements are such a wild card. You almost have to go for it here.
Yeah, you'll go for it or call the timeout, but I'd imagine that if they come back out, they probably will go for it, because even at 24 seconds, in my heart, I would assume Green Hill, they can't cover the field in 24 seconds, being a rushing attack, as we see Max Kelly, the South Carolina commit.
He's warming up, so we'll see if Kelly will get a crack at it here.
I will say, Lucas, we got to see some of the practice kicks going into the game beforehand, and nailing some very difficult ones, kind of having trouble with some ones that would be automatic for him in these conditions. You stuck your hand out the window, I remember, about 2 minutes ago, and it was windy out there, so that's also one of those things, too, with Kelly. I mean, you have to have communication. You tell your guy, like, hey, and you have to be honest with me. Can you hit it? Can you not? But these points could be huge coming out of second half.
Would be about a 43-yard field goal if the Green Wave elect to kick it here. And they're going to send out the kicking unit with that big right leg of Max Kelly.
I like the decision. I mean, you got someone that talented, use it. Lean on him.
The wind is at his back, but whipping, it looks like, to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how Kelly incorporates that.
On your screen, it would be to the right, I believe. Now it would be to the left.
Right.
There you go.
To the left of Kelly from 43. Snap is good. Kick is on the way. And he drilled it. Flag down after the play. And Max Kelly's picking himself up off the grass with his helmet off. He drilled the kick. And Green Hill may have cost themselves a first down out of it anyway.
Interesting decision time coming up.
Do you take the points or do you take the first down if it's a roughing the kicker call?
For Gallatin, if I had to make a decision right now, like on the top, I'd probably take the points, especially with how the passing game has gone right now. But you do have a chance with a fresh set of downs, still a timeout too. You could still lean on him. It also depends how Kelly's feeling right now too. I mean, if let's say it doesn't work, well, can he make the kick again if he had to?
Take a look here. Kelly drilled this thing and then just kind of gets taken out from under him.
Roughing the kicker. Automatic. Gallatin.
So Gallatin will take the penalty. Dom Waller came in a little late, sliding into Kelly there, and the Green Wave are going to take it with 1 timeout and 24 seconds left. They'll send the offense back out on the field.
I like it. I mean, especially I'm an offensive guy. I'll always be biased. I'd be like, I wasn't the most tame player either. I know you see me very stoic like Lucas, but I'd be out there like, give me that ball. So I'm sure he wants to make a statement going into halftime for his guys.
Well, what was your count of personal fouls in your collegiate career at Vanderbilt?
Zero. We're not losing because of me. Now, we did sometimes.
Strop will gun it down the right side. Had a man, it's just too far for his intended target. Jeremiah Williams, his favorite target with over 300 receiving yards on the season. Couldn't connect there, and again, wind might have been a factor carrying that football.
But also a great decision by Strop just to take that. I mean, it's not like he's eyeing it down. He knows that he's playing with the clock and his down, so he just takes a shot at it, and now they still have 17 seconds to operate with 2 more downs.
Double digits usually.
2nd and goal from the 10.
Assuming on 4th they would kick it.
Will actually be on the 12, so 2nd and 10 from the 12. Gallatin with 1 timeout to work with. They're able to keep it on the ground here. Dawson, though, is swallowed in the backfield. And that timeout is taken with 10 seconds on the clock.
Enough time for about 1 more shot to the end zone before you send out the kicking unit again.
And you see Max Kelly there giving 2 thumbs up. Good to see the senior kicker. Look like he's good to go if he is called upon.
Tells you the trust they have in Max Kelly. That's huge. And it helps the confidence of the kicker, too, when you're the coach and you're like, hey, if we get down there again, I count on you to get these points, even in these conditions. Feeds off each other the energy and the belief and the trust.
Just such a rare weapon to have at this level, right? A kicker when you're talking about a long of 51 at the high school level.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something like if I had to give a rough estimate, probably 5% of teams in the country that can rely on something like that. Probably a lot less, to be honest. So, and it could make all the difference in a game like this. Points matter so much, especially now when the conditions are down. Green Hill has been operating very high level. But football is a tale of 2 halves.
I mean, how many high school teams, do you think more high school teams in the U.S. rely on a kicker with a collegiate future or an offensive lineman to make those kicks? I bet it's close.
Yeah, it's got to be the same exact number, to be quite honest. I love that comparison. It caught me off guard.
Here's 3rd down. The rain really driving now in Gallatin. Strop lobs it to the back of the end zone. It'll fall incomplete. Stops the clock with 4 seconds remaining. And that's because Gallatin has the luxury of sending out future South Carolina kicker Max Kelly and not an offensive lineman. No offense.
Don't worry. One time I had a pretty good amount of money in my pro career up. I was the guy chosen to kick at the end of practice as like a hype thing from 30 yards for, I would say, 500 buckaroos. I missed terribly and got booed out of the stadium.
This will be the last play of the first half. 29-yard field goal. It's a high snap. Kelly is forced to run with it, and he'll have no chance. Special teams coming into play again. The weather coming into play again. And Green Hill will go into halftime with a 10-point advantage.
It just breaks your heart because Kelly nailed such a great kick right before this, and now points are off the board. If you're Gallatin, you're relying on your offense. You want to give them trust too, but Kelly had no shot there on just the bad operation.
That's a tough pill to swallow for Gallatin. As you said, they had the field goal made from 43, chose to take the roughing the kicker penalty to get closer, potentially looking for a touchdown. Had to roll out the kicking unit anyway, and the snap is high. Kelly didn't even have the opportunity.
Would have made it a 1-score game coming out of the half.
We'll go down to Sammy Kincaid alongside Green Hill head coach Josh Crouch.
Coach, you knew special teams was going to be a big part of this game. It's already shown it in the first half. Walk me through your play call on your special teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a play we've had in for about 2 years now. We've been kind of saving it, and we've seen the snap was kind of high on their punt snap. So I was worried about us just handling it and operating properly. So we was inside the plus territory, felt good about what we were doing on defense, and called a fake, and Amazing made a play.
And you're very kind to put me on this side because of the wind picking up. With that wind picking up here, kind of going into the second half, what's the message to your team?
Well, we've got to hold on to the football. We put the ball on the ground a lot, and they're doing a great job of trying to rip it out. But it's affecting the passing game. Neither one of us are being able to throw the ball right now with this wind. But we got to come out, hold on to the football. We get the ball back in the second half. A big score here would be huge for us. So just protecting the ball, try to operate like we can, and keep driving the ball.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Coach Crouch. Gallatin opened up the scoring with this 33-yard scamper by Hoskins, but Green Hill has rallied. They lead 16-6 at the break.
Gallatin touchdown to number 1, Jaden Hopkins.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
We're proud to present the Sonic Scholar Athlete of the Week. This week's Scholar Athletes are Nick Owens Jr. from Green Hill High School and Oakley Bright from Gallatin High School. Nick was voted All-Region in football and baseball. He is a team captain and has maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout high school. Oakley won the Jerry Landers Award, voted Most Improved, and is an AP Scholar with honors. These All-Stars are now entered to win a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Sonic Athletes of the Week. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Gallatin High School, where they are currently down to Green Hill 16-6, and I'm joined by Green Hill principal Kevin Dawson. And Dawson, thank you so much for joining me during this halftime report. And tell me, how does it feel to be here for another Friday Night Rivals?
Yeah, well, right now it feels a little soggy to be here with Friday Night Rivals, but it's exciting as always to get the opportunity to really showcase what our football players are doing and our coaches and our program. So we're excited.
It's a new school, but you guys have already been on here so many times. So exciting what's going on at Green Hill. And there's an auto program I hear about. What's going on with the auto program?
Yeah, so we started an auto program last year for our students. And this year, now that it's gotten going, they're starting a car giveaway where we're bringing in cars that are gifted to the school. The students are fixing the cars up, and then we're going to have them inspected, and we're going to give them to families in need.
That's fantastic. I was going to say, is there like a Ferrari in this deal?
That's for me. I've already called dibs on the Ferrari, yes.
Well, what else is going on at Green Hill?
Yeah, well, we're hitting our 5th year, so we're kind of feel like an established school now. So really just trying to continue on the academic successes that we've had, the athletics and the arts, and open doors for our students so that they can be successful.
Well, thank you so much for joining me for this halftime report, and thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have highlights, stats, a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Gallatin, where they are hosting Green Hill, and I am joined by Gallatin Principal Dr. Ron Becker. And thank you so much for hosting us tonight. And I hear that you have some new CTE programs. What are those new programs?
Oh, we do. Thank you. Yeah, CT is huge in our school for our students on that. We've got a brand new one this year, construction department taking off. It was a need for our students and something we thought that would really go well, and it has in year one here, and we'll have a lot of projects going on campus soon. And then cosmetology, we started that 3 years ago. It's in its 3rd year, I guess. And they are doing a wonderful job going out in the community, nursing homes, different, elderly centers, and we're getting more than we can almost handle in business inside the building and, taking appointments and everything. And I actually sat down and had my hair cut today by a young man in his Cosmetology 1. Give a little shout out to Chris Bravo. He did a good job today, but it's just exciting to see the kids at work and things that they can produce for their future.
That's some trust you have in your students right there. I love it. But you just talked about the community. How do you see the community support your school?
Oh, it's tremendous. Gallatin, we've been around since, I think, 1914, Gallatin High School has. And our community, we are the old hometown feeling, and we are the original Gallatin High School, we are the Gallatin High School, so to speak. And they just come out and support us, athletically and academically. We had 5 or 6 businesses, partnerships in town provide money to provide math tutoring for our students. The field here was done with county and quarterback club money and other improvements, and we got stuff going on campus the same way. So it's just tremendous to see the support and the community get behind our school like they do.
And I hear voting ended today on the Teacher of the Year and Support Employee of the Year. Are you ready to announce it?
Yeah, I'd like to give a little shout out to a couple of our staff members. Our support staff of the year is Miss Candace Venables. She's our CT secretary. Give her a little shout out. And our faculty voted for Teacher of the Year for 24-25, Spanish teacher, Miss Christy Hughes Mercado. So we're really proud of them, and all of our faculty do a wonderful job for our students day in, day out.
Well, congratulations to them, and thank you again so much for hosting us, and thank you so much to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from break, we're going to have a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
The weather can't stop us tonight. At halftime, Green Hill leads Gallatin 16-6 in a 4-6A matchup here in Week 6 on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica in the booth. Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline. It's been a fun game, a special teams kind of game, as we take a look at the first half highlights with the Gallatin Green Wave receiving the opening kickoff. Take a look at those highlights here in just a moment. But Bruno, special teams has been the theme of the first half. Green Hill able to overcome some mistakes, and in the end, a 10-point lead at the half, and they're going to get the ball back in the third quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned going into the highlights. I want the audience out there to sort of catch, like, how many of these highlights are well operated from top to bottom, all 11 players, without there being a mistake. It's been a wacky one here on Friday Night Rivals, but here they are right now, starting off with the Gallatin return to start the game.
It was Legarius Humphrey, a 53-yard kickoff return. That set up the Green Wave in excellent field position, and only 2 plays later, Gallatin was able to open up the scoring at home as running back Jaden Hoskins ran it in from 33 yards.
Hoskins with a little slip up there and then got kind of into fourth gear instantly. He doesn't need a manual transmission. Gets it going, dives for the pylon, gets Gallatin on the board first. Extra point missed after that.
And then more special teams, this time a miscue with a snap over the head of punter Max Kelly. A safety put Green Hill on the board to make it 6-2. And then the Hawks got the ball back, and Cannon Burrows ran it in from 11 to give the Hawks their first lead.
And I asked you to watch the operation. I mean, Green Hill has been operating at a very high level considering the weather and the inclements, especially Burrows, his balanced footwork, all top level.
And how about this? The play of the game so far, a special teams fake punt that they called TikTok. Omeza Danian running it for the first down, and that set up a touchdown drive for the Green Hill Hawks. More improv here. This time Zach Cartwright scooping it off the grass.
Yeah, and a real highlight to the Green Hill right side of the offensive line there, too. Even though the ball was on the grass, them securing their guys and getting down the field, opening it up for a Green Hill score.
Gallatin was able to drive down the field, but could not convert on a field goal at the end of the half, and that makes it a 16-6 score for Green Hill. Both teams more one-dimensional than they would have planned. The weather has had a little something to do with that, but Green Hill, 166 rush yards on the day, able to overcome over 50 yards in penalties.
Yeah, they've controlled everything from time of possession to turnovers, and for Gallatin too. I mean, their goal coming in was to keep Green Hill one-dimensional, which they've done, but Green Hill has just been attacking on such a dynamic front. I mean, it's been tough, and they've taking the special teams crown going into halftime as well. So it's just been tough to overcome for Gallatin. But still, they were able to put 6 points up, almost 9 going into halftime.
As we continue in the United States Navy halftime report, the U.S. Navy forged by the sea. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we showcase outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Fade a throw. He's going to hurl it deep downfield, and that ball is hauled in. What a catch by Javian Robinson.
Cam Wade. When it comes inside the 40, Wade down the sideline. Wade is alive. This one from 57 yards.
To evade the rush, throws it, end zone, jump ball, what a catch! Touchdown, Sam Donovan climbs the ladder and comes down with it.
That was a little bit errant. It's one-on-one, he's got him.
Got him again.
He went up and caught it. What
Great
a catch.
Great catch.
Get a number on that man. Is that 19, that sophomore? Strike up the Fairfield Central Park song to Aquarius Shannon, 6'1", 180, a 10th grader, folks.
Guy, he's a power lifter guy. A lot of their offense, and one block kick deserves another, right? Still loose. Alamo Heights has it, but still not out of bounds. We can get a couple of points here. Another pitch, and they've got room. Miracle on the Mississippi. You got to be kidding me. It's Max Bacon.
Mm-hmm. Coach, that last drive going into the half, walk me through that play call. I mean, the conditions really intensified. Did that impact your play call?
It didn't impact it, just trying to get more points on the board before halftime, but it didn't work out for us.
And what was your message to your team in the locker room?
The message to the team is to come out with the same energy we had when we left the locker room in the beginning of the game and just hit the reset button and get after them.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
On the 11th of October, our next home game will be on the 18th versus Springfield.
We are ready for third quarter action in Gallatin, Tennessee, where the rain is driving down and the Green Hill Hawks lead the Gallatin Green Wave 16-6 in a Region 4 6A battle. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica in the booth as we send it down to the third member of our crew, Sammy Kincaid, who caught up with Gallatin head coach Michael Straub.
Coach, that last drive going into the half, walk me through that play call. I mean, the conditions really intensified. Did that impact your play call?
It didn't impact it, just trying to get more points on the board before halftime, but it didn't work out for us.
And what was your message to your team in the locker room?
The message to the team is to come out with the same energy we had when we left the locker room in the beginning of the game and just hit the reset button and get after them.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy. So Gallatin will have to kick it back to Green Hill to start the third quarter. Of course, Sammy asking Coach Straub, Bruno, about that sequence where Gallatin drilled a 43-yard field goal that would have made it 16-9, but there was a roughing the kicker call, chose to take the penalty, looking for the touchdown. They come up short, and then a high snap doesn't allow them to make the kick on the second try either, and they go into the half down by 10. How tough can that be to overcome in a home locker room?
I mean, Coach Straub knows that's why he went for it. They were down 10 at the time, and still down 10, even though they hit that field goal and accepted the penalty. You kind of get to a point where I'm sure he was aware of the discrepancy between the rushing attacks right now and the passing attacks being a non-factor due to weather. So he's like, hey, we need points where we can take them, and we have a chance to get 4 on top. So might as well take the opportunity. But what I like about Coach Straub is football can be a simple game at times. Why overcomplicate if you have to? He said, we could have gotten more points, so I went for more points.
Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid for a second half injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham injury update, there is an update on the Gallatin side. Jaden Hoskins is questionable to return in the second half, but the Bart Durham injury report is the same as the start, with Aaron Mattingly out for Green Hill, as well as Xander Jones, Jalen Ham, and Alec Brown also out for Gallatin. That's your Bart Durham injury report. Back up to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Big news there. If Gallatin is unable to get Jaden Hoskins, responsible for the only touchdown of the night for the Green Wave, the senior running back. But Green Hill will get it to start things off in the second half as Kelly will squib it to the 30, where it's picked up by Danian, and it's a light trot that turns into a sprint across midfield. Danian down at the 45. It's like he was following blockers there. Omeza Danian, who stars as a linebacker for this team, just picks his way across midfield.
Gallatin's goal for Green Hill was to make them one-dimensional. I mean, it looked like he was running in the first dimension. It was slow and methodical, but Danian able to cross midfield after having trouble fielding the football. So, again, Green Hill starting with good field position.
And junior quarterback Cannon Burrows retakes the field, the second-year starter who has interest from the likes of Wake Forest, Troy, MTSU. Has been so good running the football tonight for Green Hill, and he's going to give it another go here, picking up a few right up the gut on 1st and 10. We'll look at his numbers from the first half. Only 16 pass yards, 65 on the ground, and the rushing touchdown, his 9th of the season.
Yeah, chance, to really up those rushing totals too. The softening process, I always bring it up. Rushes start to become more explosive and more effective here in the second half. So we could be looking at a plus 100-yard rushing game from the quarterback position.
Burrows had 190 rush yards last week in the win over Lebanon. He'll hand it off this time, but knifing in for the tackle for loss is Georgian Parks, the junior defensive lineman.
Good to see the Gallatin defense start getting their number called, in Parks right there. Just a quick swim move. It was a combination of a swim and a club. It was to the midsection, able to shift, keep his balance low, and make the play in the backfield.
That'll bring up 3rd and 8 for Green Hill. Coming into this game at 5-0 on the season. Gallatin 2-3. 3rd region game for both teams. Burrows will throw. Aaron it out deep. Has Nick Owens Jr. at the 20. Owens Jr. tumbling into the end zone. Touchdown Green Hill.
Flag on that last play.
And there is a flag down. This one looks like it's going to come back.
I believe the official call already happened. It looked like they pointed it back to Green Hill, so that ball will be coming back. Which is a shame, too, because Green Hill really standing on that running game, able to open up the pass.
During the play, hold. Number 63, White. Going to be 3rd down.
Big blow to Green Hill, who has not aired it out much. As we said, only 16 passing yards in the first half. And that would have been a huge play to extend the lead on the road. But instead, it'll be 3rd and forever.
They called that penalty on number 63, Wesley Murray, the junior offensive lineman.
Murray, the
tapping
center.
his chest right now, saying, "My bad, guys."
So here's 3rd and 20. After the holding penalty to wipe away the touchdown, Burrows is going to throw again, and he's going to look downfield again. Just not on the same page that time with Nick Owens Jr. And it'll bring up 4th and 20.
I think that technically makes it a 3 and out for Gallatin, so a good come out from the half for the Green Wave.
Yeah, especially after the kickoff return by Danian to get it into Gallatin territory. So Isaiah Quant will come back out to punt it. For Green Hill, it's high. He's able to handle it. And that's going to bounce, taking a Green Hill roll across the 30-yard line. So Gallatin will take over inside their own 30 after the defensive stop, but with work to do on offense early in the 3rd quarter as they trail by 10 at home. It's the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30. Sammy Kincaid alongside Gallatin principal Ron Becker. And a huge thanks to Gallatin High School for hosting us tonight, braving the weather along with us, and playing out this Week 6 Region 4 6A matchup. Out here in Sumner County, 2-3 Gallatin hosting 5-0 Green Hill, and Bruno Reagan, the Gallatin Green Wave, will get the ball back after forcing a punt. A touchdown on a deep ball wiped away by a holding call for Green Hill. So Green Hill forced to punt it away, and Gallatin back out on offense down by 10.
And assuming they would score on this drive, this would essentially be almost double the total yards they have if they were to score a touchdown on this drive. So not a lot of production in the first half for Gallatin, looking to kind of find a groove here in the second half and maybe change the momentum of the game.
Junior quarterback Jackson Stroup will be joined by sophomore Cage Johnson in the backfield. As Sammy said, Bell Cow running back Jaden Hoskins questionable to return in the second half. Hoskins with 75 rush yards on the night. They may have to rely on Johnson the rest of the way as he picks up a few up the middle.
Good start to the half here for Green Hill on the defense, getting the 3 and out with a little bit of help from the penalty. Now a good first down rush.
5 yards gained. 3 receivers to the right. They'll keep it on the ground with Johnson. He is ripped down in the backfield.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
Excellent tackle by Braden Flakehole, the 3-year starter. A guy who remembers the early years of Green Hill, starting up its program, leads the team in TFLs, tackles, and sacks.
He has a good head fake onto the outside, then just shoots the gap on the inside, kind of leaves the Gallatin offensive line in the dust and intercepts behind the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and 5, Strop rolls to his right, guns it, and it falls incomplete, intended for Williams. And it brings up 4th and 5.
Number 51, Flakel again for Green Hill. Someone better block that guy. He's going on the inside again. He's giving a head fake to the outside and shooting the inside gaps. Flakel basically single-handedly stalling that Gallatin drive.
And Gallatin forced to punt it away again. And this Green Hill defense has really stepped up tonight. You know, head coach Josh Crouch said it's probably the most surprising thing about their great start to the season. They had to replace 9 of 11 starters from a year ago. As Kelly blasts the punt down to the 31 where it'll roll, and that's where Green Hill will take over. Speaking of defense, coming up later on, we'll give you our Bass Tire stop of the game. Bass Tire serving Nashville for over 35 years, coming up in the 4th quarter. So the Green Hill defense will head back to the sideline, and Gallatin's unit will come back out and try and stop this Green Hill rushing attack spearheaded by quarterback Cannon Burrows.
And a little misconception when you play in weather like this, you would think like, oh, guys maybe are used to it now, but actually the field's more torn up than ever now, so it only gets harder the longer the game goes on.
Cartwright around the right side, across the 35, and dives across the 40, where he'll be very close to the first down. And it looks like they'll mark him just short. 2nd and inches for Green Hill. See those white jerseys already muddied up on a rainy night in Gallatin. Straub picks his way forward up to the 46-yard line, and did the ball come out? Gallatin saying they have it. Flags are out.
Flag on the play.
See what the call is here. A Green Hill player did come up with the football. It was Burrows.
After the play, personal foul. Offense.
Against Green Hill, personal foul.
Still going to be 2nd down.
So that'll wipe away the first down, Bruno.
Green Hill, who has been operating at a pretty high level, all things considered, kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Coming into halftime, they had 5 penalties compared to Gallatin's 1 for over 50 yards. If there's anything that gets Gallatin back into the game, it'll be situations like this.
Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid. Are there some extracurriculars happening on the sideline tonight?
Yeah, you know, I told y'all at the beginning of the game I was going to find some rubber duckies. I brought Emily over here with me, and we're going to have a rubber ducky race to just show y'all how big these puddles are on the field. Ready, set, go. Go, go. I win. No, but for real, guys, it is an absolute puddle over here on the sidelines right now. The conditions have definitely picked up here in the second half.
Now, see, I thought Emily Lester's job was to keep us all on task and focused in games like this. But fair enough, they're having a good time.
Yeah, Emily's being a bad mom right now. Bad mom of the group.
And it's not even like the rain has intensified that much, Bruno, but more that the wind's intensified and the rain has gone from going straight down to going sideways.
And underneath the layer of grass is about a foot of the water. It's hidden.
Burrows will run through that at the 35, across the 40. Powell being pushed across the 45, across midfield, and out of bounds in Gallatin territory. What a team run by this Gallatin offense, specifically the Gallatin offensive line. They're going to have to separate some players on the sideline. But the big boys up front getting the job done there for Cannon Burrows. An offensive line that head coach Josh Crouch says squatted 2,200 pounds total between them this offseason.
And, man, they show it. And it's a shame that they're dominating so much between the whistles and they're just hurting themselves on the outside as we see a flag down right now. And I think the refs are having conversations like, hey, guys, like, you can play hard, and that was a great scrum right there. But when we blow the whistle, knock it off.
So our officiating crew, led by Shane Qualls, will sort this out. And we'll see if they take away the big run by Cannon Burrows, or if they tack on more here. The Green Hill offensive line that returned 3 players that started all the way back at their sophomore year. 3 of the 5 started as sophomores. 4 of the 5 are juniors that will be back next year. So the future is bright for a group that includes left tackle Ethan Harris, the 6'2", 280-pound junior that broke the squat record at Green Hill High School with a 605-pound squat this offseason.
You can see that they're dominating just by the numbers. You got the visuals, you got the analytics. Looks like they're waving off the flag. Had a conversation with both head coaches telling them, hey, no bench clearing fights, as exciting as it may be. And we've seen a lot of unique things here tonight, but we want a clean football game.
Yeah, Shane Qualls kind of asking for the help of the 2 head coaches there, and picks up the flag in the process. Saying, give me a hand here. We want a clean game. It's messy enough out there with the weather. So the long run by Burrows will stand, and it puts him at 99 rush yards on the day. Low snap, handles it. Around the right edge, Nick Owens Jr. is spun out. Still a little bit of chatter on that far sideline. And it looks like it'll be marked no gain on the play, maybe half a yard there by Owens Jr.
Gallatin defense doing a fairly good job, all things considered, outside of one explosive run, the scrum you saw on the sideline.
Burrows will tuck and run here on the left side, gets a block at the 40. He's across the 30 and out of bounds, tumbling down. Cannon Burrows with the BMC Metalworks first down scamper, and Green Hill on the move again.
Cannon Burrows at the end of this play sliding about 20 extra yards. A great block on the lead there. Hit out of bounds, whee, out to the tail end. Football weather.
Now that looks like fun. I don't care what you centers say. That looks like fun. 120 rush yards on the day for Burrows. Zach Cartwright now getting his turn, and he is popped with a jump cut across the 20 down at the 19. A good hit by Legarius Humphrey, the senior safety.
Second and about 7 coming up.
Second down.
Green Hill trying to extend a 10-point lead on the road. Burrows patient as he runs to his right, but doesn't get much on the play. 1, maybe 2. And he is running hard tonight. Certainly a candidate for our Bart Durham player of the game coming up in the 4th quarter. Hope you'll stay with us. Burrows over 120 rush yards and 1 rushing touchdown on the day. And it puts him at over 650 rush yards and 9 rushing touchdowns on the season. For a guy who put on 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason, according to his head coach, and came into the year with an added emphasis on being able to run the football. That's paid off. Burrows alone in the backfield here. Little quarterback draw, and it takes multiple Green Wave defenders to take him down. Not enough for the first. It'll bring up 4th down for Green Hill.
Yeah, that was a designed draw play right there. You just see it's the 5 offensive linemen, and they had a double team into one of the linebackers, and the other one is for Burrow to beat one-on-one, and they just meet him in the line of scrimmage.
So Green Hill will send out the kicking team. This is Isaiah Quint, the junior. His head coach says that they're comfortable inside the 35-yard line. kicking field goals. This will be a attempt as the ball is spotted on the 15. A 32-yard field goal is good by Isaiah Quant. So Green Hill extends its lead 19-6. Midway through the third quarter, the Hawks up on the road. We'll be back with more after this on MyTV 30.
Welcome back to Gallatin High School, and I'm currently joined by Paul Rayner, the franchise owner and president of the National Board. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much to Sonic for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. And first off, can you tell me what the Community First card is?
Sure. It's a card that we came up with several years ago to help the schools and churches and civic organizations throughout Middle Tennessee raise money. It's this card right here, and what we do is we give the schools these cards when they come to us. Hey, we need money, we need to raise money. We give them these cards at no charge. They sell them for $10, and they keep all the proceeds, and at the end of their sale, all the money they collect is theirs to spend on however they please.
And what is the Homework Hotline, and why do you support it?
Well, the Homework Hotline, that's something we started about 20 years ago, helping the schools with kids having homework. When they get home and they struggle sometimes with their homework, they kind of panic. So there's a number you can call downtown Nashville, and it's manned by teachers that are off duty. And if you're in fourth grade and you have a fourth grade problem, you can call down there and say, I got a math problem I can't figure out. And they'll actually pull the book out that you're using at home, and they'll help the kids. They don't give them the answer, but they help the kids get through and solve the problems that they have. And one of the things we do with Homework Hotline is this fourth grade flashcard. Several years ago, the principals came to us and said the number one thing we need help with is fourth grade math. The kids, kind of struggle, and so we asked them what we could do, and they said, well, if you'll do flashcards, that would be great. So every year we give out 25,000 packs of these flashcards to every fourth grader in Middle Tennessee.
My mom, who's watching, she'll probably say, hey, why are you about to say this? But I wish we had that whenever I was in fourth grade. But she's a principal. She was a fourth grade teacher. And the Nashville scholarship, tell me a little bit about that.
One of the biggest things we're proud of is what we started about 30 years ago. One of our managers had an idea of, hey, some of these kids are going to college and they're struggling to get there. Can we do a scholarship program to help them pay their way? And so about 30 years ago, we started a $1,000 scholarship per employee. And we started out with 10 employees. And it went so well the first couple of years, we decided, let's raise this up. So last year, we gave away $85,000 worth of scholarships to 55 employees. And currently today, we're at about $1.7 million that the local Sonics throughout Nashville have given to our employees to further their education in college.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, thank you again so much for joining me tonight. And thank you again so much to Sonic for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals.
Great stuff there, Sammy, alongside Paul Rayner from earlier tonight before things really got dicey in terms of the weather out here at Gallatin. As the Green Wave will get the ball back after a Green Hill field goal drive that extends the lead to 13. And Isaiah Quant will kick it back to Gallatin, who need points, Bruno.
Definitely need to get something going on this next drive.
Quant will squib it, and that'll bounce out of bounds. Will be good field position for Gallatin.
Smart to let it go there. You're going to get yards added on. Going to start with good field position.
Don't forget, Fridays at 6:30, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live is sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, and this year it's a pregame show. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick gets you ready for all the high school football games. See the fans, the interviews, and more. Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss it. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. At the 35-yard line, the Gallatin offense have not found points since the opening drive of the game and won't find any yardage there. Drop for a loss is Cage Johnson, the sophomore tailback.
Again,
and man, Luca Nash is having a game.
You said it. Luca Nash having a heck of a game. And that was the entire Green Hill defensive line, too. They all did a good job of mirroring Gallatin's aiming point, funneling the runner, nowhere really to go.
Spot you want to be in this game with the weather, but at some point you figure Gallatin's got to put it in the air more often, right?
Losing time with each possession as well.
Well, they'll keep it on the ground here, and Cage Johnson is swallowed up that time. Braden Flakehall gets his turn. It's a loss of 3.
Green Hill just seems to sneak 3 to 4 guys into the backfield before the runners even have a chance to make a read. I mean, Flakehall right there, kind of the hero of the first drive coming out of halftime, making a play.
The Green Hill defense that has shut out 3 of its first 5 opponents, holding teams to 7 points per game this season. 5-0 Green Hill at 2-3 Gallatin tonight in Region 4 6A. Strop guns it deep. It's picked off. Intercepted by Will Butler. He's on the run down the sideline. Butler will go all the way. Touchdown, Green Hill. And the Hawks are soaring through the rain out here at Gallatin, extending the lead 25-6 late in the third quarter.
The sophomore defensive back getting hype with his teammates. He just steps right in front of the throw. And you mentioned it, Strop and company are going to have to air it out at some point. Well, first pass they air out, intercepted all the way back. And Gallatin, will have to come back on the field on offense at even more of a deficit.
Sophomore Will Butler, who's already getting attention from the likes of Army, Navy, Memphis, giving him a call. A bright future for that young man with a big-time defensive play there. The PAT is up and good. And the Green Hill lead is now 20 at Gallatin with 3:56 to play in the third quarter. And who knows, maybe that's our Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game. Find out in the fourth quarter as the Green Hill Hawks are in search of a 6-0 start to their season.
Looks like it's good protection right there. More so than Strop has had to work with, but just thrown up a little bit too high, I guess you could say. I mean, it's not good conditions at all. We know that. We've mentioned a lot on this broadcast to throw the ball, but they're kind of forced into this position. I mean, you want to talk about Green Hill. They forced Gallatin to be one-dimensional at this point now in the terms that they have to throw the ball.
All 3 phases are clicking tonight for the Green Hill Hawks. You know, it's a program that just 4 years ago was practicing on parking lots, and now you see them 6-0 at the 6A level with a 20-point lead against a region opponent on the road. They've come a long way since Josh Crouch took over in 2020. An upstart school in Wilson County.
Not much to criticize about their performance tonight either. I would say, like, maybe just too many penalties, but even then they're not world-ending penalties either. They're just operating super well, coming up with a 7 right now, about to head into the fourth.
So Gallatin will get the ball right back after the pick 6 by Will Butler. The Green Wave in a big hole here at home. They got off to a 1-3 start to the season, Gallatin, and got right last week on this field against Warren County. A 65-0 win. Knew they were in for a challenge tonight, and they'll fight a 20-point deficit here late in the third quarter. That's fair, caught at the 30 by Parker Allen. So out comes the Gallatin offense again. And check that, that was Caleb Hodge making the fair catch. And Jackson Strop, the junior quarterback, will trot back out. Josh Crouch looks on as his Green Hill Hawks have scored 2 offensive touchdowns, a field goal, a safety, and a pick 6 on defense. One of those offensive touchdowns created out of a fake punt on 4th down in the first half.
And I like that the score they weren't necessarily dominating going to the half. On the stat line, they weren't. It looked like they were operating better, but they just stayed consistent coming to this half. And the score, the points, it all came to them.
So this Gallatin offense, called by head coach Michael Strop, will take a timeout. Their first one of the second half.
Personnel issues, you can see visible frustration and bad body language from the Gallatin Green Wave.
It's a proud program out here in Sumner County as we come to you from Calvin Short Field, the legendary late head coach who won 3 state championships at Gallatin High School. And head coach Michael Strop, formerly of USJ, coming over in 2023, just really noted the way this community embraces high school football. A proud tradition, a program that's been playing football for over 100 years in Middle Tennessee. And they've got a 20-point deficit here with the offense coming back out. I mean, how much do you have to just totally go away from what you've been doing so far in this game?
I mean, I think you have to stick with the pass. I know it's frustrating. You give up an interception, especially it being a pick 6, but it's not. There's no other option. I mean, unless you just want to run out the clock and call it a day. Otherwise, you're going to have to still air it out.
Handoff up the middle to Johnson. Surges for a couple, but driven back by that Green Hill front. Brings up 2nd and long.
Green Hill front, super dominant today. Mainly led by number 99, the defensive tackle, Luca Nash. But we've also gotten work from some other individuals starting to make their names called here in the second half.
2nd and 8. Johnson again taken down. And you can see that muddy jersey of Kaylee Isabel, who makes the stop. Number 9 on Green Hill. Johnson getting the carries here in the second half, as we have not seen senior tailback Jaden Hoskins, who had 75 rush yards and a touchdown in the first half, was questionable to return in the second half. Here's a 3rd and 6 for the Gallatin offense. Strop screens it out. It's Johnson at the 30, makes a move, 35, and Johnson is out near the 40, where he will have the BMC Metalworks first down. BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary.
Green Hill really being aggressive, leaving the running back open and one-on-one with the outside corner. I'd like to see them maybe try some hurry up after successful plays like that, maybe trying to get the Green Hill defense on its heels. I know they love with Strop him reading, but Green Hill, their key to the game coming in is disguise, and they haven't really given Gallatin much to work off in terms of changing the plays.
Just the 2nd completion of the game for this Gallatin passing attack. And they actually mark him short on 4th and inches. And that'll become 4th and 5. It looked like he had picked up the first down, but they mark him short. And instead of lining up with just inches, the false start sends out the punt team.
It was kind of sneaky. I wonder if they even recognized that it was 4th down at a certain point. I'm sure they did, but that also snuck up on me, Lucas. Looked like Gallatin covered a lot of ground, but not enough for the first down. And again, they go off the field.
Nick Owens Jr. back to return. Kelly boots it away. Good punt by the South Carolina commit. Rolls to the 20, where it'll be downed, and that's where Green Hill will take over with just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, and a 20-point road lead against a region opponent. So the Green Hill offense will look to come out and try and put this game away.
Hawks ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
And it's been Cannon Burrows leading the charge. The junior quarterback, 126 yards on 15 carries with 1 touchdown. He's only attempted 4 passes tonight, and that's all he's really needed. As Nick Owens Jr. gets a give, the Swiss Army knife. Move him all around the formation.
Owens the ball carrier.
No gain on the play. But we talked about how good this Green Hill offensive line is. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid for a little more on that.
Yeah, let's take a look at the center, Wesley Murray. And we talked to head coach Josh Crouch earlier in the week, and we said, how do you find some of your players? And he said, well, you know, I found my center because he was in my art class. Coach Crouch teaches art, and he said, that's how I have to recruit a lot of these players, is just by in the hallways and finding them in my class because, you know, everyone has to take art. I said, were you an artist, Coach Crouch? He wouldn't show us any.
Oh, that's great, Sammy. I mean, that's a mantra for Coach Josh Crouch. Recruit the hallways. And Murray, the junior center, was not only in Crouch's art class, but also good friends with left tackle Ethan Harris. And Crouch kind of got into his left tackle's ear, nudged him a little bit, trying to get Harris out onto the football field. But this is a guy that has gotten his bench from 105 to 250 as he's turned into a high-level center playing 6A football.
I've been right there, too. I was a 120 bench guy. As we have a fumbled snap, and it looks like Gallatin might have fallen on top of it.
And that could be the boost of momentum that the Green Wave needed. A fumble on the exchange is recovered by Johnson, and Gallatin takes over in Green Hill territory.
Speaking matter-of-factly, as we see what happens here, just the shotgun snap and just mishandled there by Burrows, an uncharacteristic mistake. And Green Hill was operating to effectively make it a 4-score game outside of 3 2-point conversions, and now Gallatin will have a chance to chip it away.
The first time tonight we've really seen Green Hill make a mistake based on the wet conditions as the remnants of Hurricane Helene impact high school football across Middle Tennessee and other areas in the southeast this weekend. 1st and 10. Big opportunity for Gallatin. Strop airs it out deep. And that's intercepted. Intercepted by Green Hill. It's picked off. A 1-play drive by the Green Wave results in a turnover as the Hawks will get it back.
Sideline alert, sideline alert. There is no turnover chain today. We have the turnover big hat. I believe that's senior defensive back, number 16, Jason Grant. Let's see the ball thrown up. Got to make a play, and it looks like it falls into the Gallatin receiver's hands, number 6, Jeremiah Williams.
Grant, the sophomore, with his 2nd interception of the season, gets to wear the big hat on the sideline. And that's 2 interceptions by the Green Hill defense in this second half. They get it right back inside their own 10. Burrows. Hammered for no gain. And man, that's a deflating turnover for the Gallatin offense.
You get a gift given to you and you just give it right back. And I don't think they're doing the wrong things play calling wise. And it actually looked like Jeremiah Williams for the Gallatin Green Wave comes down with it, but just gets ripped out the last second by Grant.
Certainly not an advantageous position to be in when you have to throw down 20 in this weather. Burrows running out to the left. Dragged down before he reaches the 10. That's an excellent tackle by Micah Bell, the star middle linebacker lead tackler for this defensive group. And it takes us to the end of the third quarter, where Green Hill is in control and trying to close it out. Fourth quarter action when we return on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Three quarters down, one to go, and Green Hill has all the momentum as they lead 26-6 at Gallatin in a Region 4 6A battle out in Sumner County. Welcome back to the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth, I'm Lucas Pantica. Sammy Kincaid on the sideline, getting absolutely drenched by this weather. How you feeling? You dry?
Oh, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sammy. We're chilling up here. We got the room service, too. It's been really nice.
Oh, that's why we love Sammy Kincaid. And our fantastic crew. Would be remiss not to shout out our incredible crew. Been out here setting up since 12 o'clock this afternoon. And as anybody in Middle Tennessee, or really the entire Southeast at this point knows, it has been raining for about the last 24 hours plus.
Yeah, they worked through the rain to set this up for who knows how many hours now. They'll never understand how hard it is to be a color commentator for 2 hours on air, but they have worked hard.
Fumble, Burrows has to fall on it. Did Gallatin come up with it? They'll say yes. The Green Wave come up with yet another turnover in the red zone.
This has been a game of give and take, give and take, give and take. I'm sure both coaches are just utterly frustrated. Like, what play call do you want? We're just giving and taking the ball away at this point.
Gallatin had just recovered a fumble by Green Hill, and on the first play of the drive, threw an interception from quarterback Jackson Strop. It was picked off by corner Jason Grant. And now it's take two for the Gallatin offense, who have not scored since the opening drive of the game. Big moment here for Gallatin to get back into it and cut it to a 2-score lead. On first and goal from the 3, Strop. Hands off. Johnson just looking for a seam into the end zone. He's short of it. Picked up 1 or 2 on the play.
Something that bothers my offensive lineman hard a little bit is when you get in these goal line situations, you want to finish. They always tell you, finish in the end zone. Now, you don't want to fall down and be not an athlete, but you got to see some passion, some drive. You're in a position to score. And there's a lot of time on the clock. Game's not over.
Strop We'll give it again to Johnson. He runs into a wall. He's driven back.
Johnson on the carry.
And it brings up 3rd and goal. This Green Hill front just continues to step up tonight.
They do a good job right there. There wasn't as much penetration, but so much as just holding your gap. Super effective right there. Nowhere really to go on the power play. Gallatin trying to hang their hat on the gap scheme.
Turnovers on each of the last 4 possessions, an even split between both teams. But Green Hill has turned it into points, including a pick 6 by Will Butler. Can Gallatin do the same here to get back in it? They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Strop, and he slips up. The turf monster gets him as the ground gives way, and Jackson Strop looked like he might have had an angle at a rushing touchdown.
Strop hasn't rushed much. We see him pull out the 9-iron, a.k.a. his left foot, chips the grass. Nowhere to go off of that.
And they got to go for it here. 4th and goal from the 5. Strop shifts Johnson over to his left side. He'll pop it into the end zone. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Green Hill. It's the 3rd interception of the second half. And that time, Jackson Crawford, the junior, picks it off. And the Hawks will get it on their own 20-yard line after the INT.
And I hate to be negative and talk about it. It just looks like a walkthrough out there right now. And you're not that sort of play, the fake run to jump pass, it has to have so much of a sell to it. And Green Hill is so confident. I mean, they really are stacking the box. I don't like that term, but they're doing it. They're playing total man to the open side of the field. The left side of the field was total one-on-one, a good matchup right there, but instead we're just kind of, it's a good play call, but just not good execution.
So that is 5 turnovers on each of the last 5 possessions. 2 by Green Hill, 3 by Gallatin, 3 consecutive interceptions. And Cannon Burrows going back to the ground, weaving out to the left side of the field. He's out of bounds after a gain of 7. And the junior quarterback has really put this offense on his shoulders tonight.
Yeah, if you don't like spoilers, plug your ears. But we knew coming in for Green Hill, if they were to take the victory, the player of the game would most likely be number 18, Cannon Burrows, leading passer, rusher, you name it.
They'll hand it off this time. Nick Owens Jr. falling forward for the UA Local 572 first down, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. UA Local 572.
Now, Owens Jr. on top of Zach Cartwright, a good 1-2 on top of the Burrows. I mean, Green Hill, I do mention Burrows, but those 2 other gentlemen, they've done a good job of spreading out the offense, making it more dynamic, attacking different parts of the field. Even though it's been quote-unquote one-dimensional with the rushing attack, they do have a lot of different weapons, and it gives a lot of different looks.
Burrows has 141 rush yards on the day. He'll tack on 1 more with the 4 progress.
Pretty good play by number 4 on the Gallatin Green Wave, Jalen Link, the defensive back. And here's Cannon Burrows' numbers: 21 attempts on the ground for 142 yards. We knew he'd get over that 100-yard rushing mark, as he had about, what was it, Lucas, 190 last week? So still some time to chip away at it. Green Hill also chipping away at this clock.
Yeah, $190 last week. He accounted for 6 of the 7 touchdowns that Green Hill scored in that 52-28 win at home against Lebanon. Now Nick Owens Jr. running over a man as he falls forward at the 36. And this Green Hill coaching staff loves Nick Owens Jr. The team captain, excellent student, volunteers in the community with the 12U football team. And as we mentioned earlier, the way that they've been able to move him around with the absence of star receiver Aaron Mattingly. They've been able to play him at tailback, kick him out at wide receiver. He is this team's lead rusher, not named Cannon Burrows, and also their lead receiver. Flag down.
Snap, false start, offense, still going to be third down.
But the only thing you can criticize Green Hill for right now, on the immediate side, probably a little too many penalties if you want to be a serious playoff contender, especially in the big boy division of Tennessee high school football. And again, they are quote-unquote one-dimensional, but a lot of teams are. It's depending on how you work out of that game.
This does feel like a potential step forward of a season for Green Hill, who, as we said, started 5-0 in 2023, but ended up 7-4 on the year with a first-round playoff exit to Riverdale. As Burrows is under pressure here, and he is ripped down, sacked. Excellent defensive play by Jason Morton, who came flying in for the third down stop.
Sophomore Jason Morton, you see him, number 39, just kind of shoots the gap. Very good heads-up play. And he kind of creates his own energy there, too. Things have kind of halted to a lull for Gallatin. It was good to see someone get fired up on their side of the football.
But you got to credit this Gallatin defense, as Green Hill is going to pooch punt it away with Cannon Burrows, and it's a short one. Gallatin's going to have fantastic field position here on their own 34-yard line. So the offense comes back out on the field, looking to get back on the board, down 20, 6:14 to play. We'll be right back on MyTV 30. Green Hill up 20 as we break for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
At the beginning of every football season, a team sits down and makes a game plan. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help you create your financial game plan. Protect your credit while navigating real-life obstacles by paying off credit cards and bills each month. Financial goals requires complex decisions and smart budgeting. It's always a good idea to prepare now for the future. Like every great coach knows their team, we know our community. We understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you.
Gallatin's offense back out on the field after the defense comes up with the stop and a 4-yard pooch punt by Green Hill quarterback Cannon Burrows. Gives the Green Wave great field position, down 3 scores at home. As the ball is out and Green Hill is falling on it. And that could be the 4th consecutive possession with a turnover by the Gallatin offense. Referees discussing it. We don't have an official ruling yet, but the Gallatin defense is trotting out on the field. There it is, Green Hill football, as it was Dawson on the fumble.
I mean, this has been a wild west of the game, I guess you could say. You might be like, Bruno Reagan, analyze we've had about 7 turnovers in the past 7 minutes of this football game. And you gotta start thinking if you're Gallatin, like, man, if we kind of locked in here in these last 2 minutes, how different could this game be? We're kind of getting a lot of gifts, but right there, Gallatin ended up the gift that keeps on giving it back to Green Hill.
Waller with the forced fumble. Cameron Richardson, the linebacker, on the recovery. And in a flash, the Green Hill offense back on the field, and the screen pass is a loose football, and Gallatin falls on it. It's Gallatin football. Things are getting wacky under the Hurricane Helene rain in Gallatin, Tennessee, as the Green Wave, just like that, are going to get the ball back.
These teams are testing my professionalism right now. I'm about to lose it in the booth, Lucas. It is a walkthrough. We're watching a walkthrough on the field right now. You can see number 22 for Green Hill, who goes out for the flat pass. That's Cartwright, who is a sophomore that's had, a great game. Kind of the three main bell cows for Green Hill. He kind of just, the pass goes behind him, which makes it a lateral, a live ball. Gallatin falls on top of it. Again, switch.
And the Green Wave offense back on the field like they never left. Just trading turnovers here in the second half, as it's a short run by Johnson. And I'll tell you what, you got to credit the Gallatin defense that just continues to get the football back for its offense. They haven't given up any points in the second half. The only Green Hill touchdown was a pick six.
Oh, it's a night and day difference now. I get that we're going to constantly bring up the weather. It plays a factor, but this Gallatin defense has came out of halftime and they played out of their mind.
7 first half turnovers between these two. Second half turnovers, excuse me, between these two. And a correction, Gallatin did give up a field goal drive early on in the third, but since then, they have clamped down, giving the ball back to this offense that has it with 5 minutes left, looking to make it a 2-score game.
It's hard to see from the TV angle and the camera angles we have. If you look real closely, hopefully you have those nice high definition. I hear they have them for $50 at Walmart now if you go on a certain Friday. But you can see the wind and the rain is sideways. There is sideways weather going on right now.
Strop gives Johnson. Pushes forward. You've talked before about how fun these games can be if you're not playing center or quarterback. Do you have to adjust anything about the way you snap the football as a center in these type of conditions?
There's no specific coaching point to it or anything. If anything, I liked playing with, I wouldn't play with the glove, but the higher level you go, the more damaging it can be to your hand. Very, like just super damaging wear and tear. So I like playing with it off. And if you're in the rain, it's very important that you can play with it off because it just gets a little murky in there. But otherwise, there's no secret to the sauce. Get it back there.
Johnson with a nice run across the 20 on fourth down. It's a UA local 572 for Gallatin, getting into the Green Hill red zone. What's tougher under this type of rain, shotgun or under center?
Under center for sure. Under center can be it. I would prefer to just stay shotgun, and then if you're going to do one or the other, pick it and stick with it. Run all your plays out of it, which is hard for a high school team that might have trouble with the formations. But otherwise, I mean, choose a sword and live and die by it.
Johnson cut down by Luka Nash again. The junior defensive tackle having a monster game for the Hawks.
I believe that's Luka Nash's 5th TFL right there.
He came into the game with 3.
I know, that's more. That's combined 8. That's more than people will have in their careers. So have a game, Luka Nash. Friday Night Rivals, there's always someone that pops on the TV. Might be one of the first defensive players I'd even consider for a player of the game.
Strop fumbles the snap a bit, able to get it off to Johnson, still on his feet at the 10. And sliding out of bounds before he reaches the 5. Tackle made by Jackson Crawford.
I got to show this to my AV class. We call this sliding out of frame, ladies and gentlemen. But a great run right there. Just keep the feet churning. Shoelace tackles aren't going to get it done. And they almost go out to the concrete. Gallatin in scoring position.
Sophomore Cage Johnson playing for the injured Jaden Hoskins in this second half. First and goal for Gallatin. Timeout on the field. Our referee, Shane Qualls, will have a chat with his side judge. Don't see any flags down.
Snap. Sideline warning. Still first down.
Didn't tell us who it was on, but the flag seemed to come down on the far sideline where Green Hill is. So just a sideline warning. First and goal for Gallatin. Johnson dives forward and
Johnson on the carry.
does a little spin around the 2-yard line. Second and goal.
Lucas, we've been in this pocket, this 30-yard pocket on this side of the field for about 15 minutes now, and we almost had a Beyblade spinning top into the end zone, but down on contact. So any sliding will not count. And this isn't the NFL, so if you slide without contact, you're still down.
Johnson again. He is met. No. Strop keeps it and runs it in. Had everybody fooled, and the junior quarterback finds the end zone. His 3rd rushing score of the season. Gallatin back on the board. What a fake here on second and goal.
Yep, you see Strop's read is number 7 for Green here. That's Danian, the junior, all right? And Strop sees him hit inside, which is a pretty good pick. Strop isn't known for being a puller, right? He's going to sit in the pocket and hold, but that's one of those situations where you say, I can get this yard or two, and walks in the end zone.
So Kelly comes out for the PAT, and that's the first drive ending in points for Gallatin since the opening series of the game. Snap is down, and Kelly just sneaks it in. It cuts the Green Hill lead to 13 with 2.5 minutes to play. Gallatin trying to stay in it at home.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham, and Sonic, who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you, the viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecasts: the United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Green Hill and our host, Gallatin High School.
A quarterback touchdown run on the fake by Jackson Strop cuts the Green Hill lead to 13, and the Gallatin Green Wave lining up for an onside kick with 2.5 minutes to play. Max Kelly, the South Carolina commit, instead just boots it out, and that's a live football that is pounced on. Heads up play there by Matt Broyles, the junior, who falls on the ball for Green Hill. Friday Night Football Frenzy, Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss it on Fox 17, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. This year, it's a pregame show. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick gets you ready for all the high school football games. See the fans, the interviews, and more Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. So interesting strategy there on the kickoff. Green Hill trying to put the ball in a pocket there. Utilize the soggy field to fall on the football, but Green Hill ends up with it, and now it could be purely academic for the Hawks from this point forward.
Yeah, they're looking for the 2-minute offense where you end the game.
Hand off Nick Owens Jr., just trying to secure the football. He is tackled from behind by Georgian Parks, the junior defensive lineman. 7 turnovers combined between these two teams in the second half. Flag down.
During the play, we got holding, number 65, offense. We're going to back it up 10, still be first down.
The left tackle, Ethan Harris, taking away a first down gain and keeping the clock stopped at 2:29.
Officiating crew said, you guys aren't getting out of here that easily. You're going to operate. You're going to be a football team out here.
Been a wacky game in Gallatin. First half was all about special teams. Second half was all about turnovers. Gallatin opened the scoring after a big kick return. 2-play drive. Jaden Hoskins ran it in from 33 yards, made it 6-0. And then a safety on a punt that sailed over the head of Gallatin punter Max Kelly put Green Hill on the board. And they turned the ensuing possession into a touchdown drive. Green Hill able to extend the lead later in the second quarter on a long drive that was aided by an incredible fake punt that they call TikTok. Special teams plays called by Green Hill head coach Josh Crouch, and the Hawks led by 10 at the half. And since then, it's been a turnover fest, but Green Hill getting the better of it, including a pick 6 to help extend their lead.
That play hadn't even gone on for a second, and we had 3 people sliding on the ground.
Yeah, prior to the snap, ball starts, offense, still first down.
They'll back it up some more, and I mean, if you're Gallatin, Bruno, you're hoping to take advantage of these clock stoppages and get the ball back in good field position and make it a 1-score game.
And Captain Hindsight, Bruno Reagan reporting, and obviously it's 2020, but man, if you have to imagine, if you were Gallatin, you were able just to key in some of your own turnovers and operate in these red zones that Green Hill have given you, this could be a much different game, regardless of the stat line, which is heavily in Green Hill's favor.
Yeah, Gallatin unable to turn 2 turnovers that got them the ball inside the red zone into points in this second half.
You need to know what conditions these guys are playing in. Look at Cannon Burrows and Nick Owens Jr.'s jerseys. It looked like they're on a different team as we get another pre-snap penalty. Or excuse me, maybe a timeout.
Green Hill does have all 3. They'll use their first one here. Let's get a look at the Bass Tire stop of the game, and it is one of the 7 turnovers that we've seen in this second half. The pick 6 by the sophomore safety, Will Butler.
As a youngin' on a team filled with a bunch of great upperclassmen, it's good for a guy like Will Butler. And we talked about it. The key coming in the game for Green Hill was to disguise, and right there he sort of disguises in his back coverage. A little bit of zone, he's playing that over the top. He sees the ball released too high, and he triggers on his heels, takes it back for 7. Some very important points, too, for Green Hill.
Bass Tire serving Nashville for over 35 years. Yeah, that interception made it a 26-6 Green Hill lead. And Gallatin able to punch it into the end zone on a quarterback keeper by Jackson Strop to get them on the board, making it 26-13. And now 1st and 25 for Green Hill. And you said it, the takeaway for Josh Crouch, the learning point after tonight, probably going to be the penalties. And I guess you layer in the turnovers, or do you almost just dismiss this one because of the weather tonight?
I would leave that to someone who's as experienced as Crouch, because if it's me, I'm losing my mind over everything. But I mean, regardless, your team has operated well enough tonight, except for that mystery third quarter.
Burrows has a seam here at the left sideline. He's got the first down. Flag on the field. Maybe some extracurriculars there on the far sideline. Clock stops with 96 seconds remaining.
Green Hill with the football. There's been 2 minutes left in the game, and they've had the ball for about 10 of those minutes with only taking 20 seconds off the clock. Just kind of a failure to operate and a failure to run an offense. As you can see, the sideways rain really starting to hit hard.
Was a 27-yard run by Burrows before the penalty that would make it a first down on 1st and 25. But clearly a lot to sort through here for Shane Qualls. Got to credit the Gallatin student section that stuck around. Proud history here at Gallatin High School.
2 fouls on the play, both on the defense, or excuse me, one on the offense, one on the defense. We have holding offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. We have a late hit, personal foul on Gallatin. All right, here we go. I got you.
All right, here we go.
You almost had to call that homework hotline from Sonic to be able to get that one out. This has been an interesting second half. Started out with some strong Gallatin defense, and then hit turnover mania.
Now, this is a tough one to step off for the officiating crew because the holding call happens during the play. The personal foul happens after the play and is an automatic first down. So if you're this officiating crew, you have to go back to where the holding call would put it and then tack on the 15.
You go back to the holding call, 10 yards from the spot of that foul, change it to the first down automatically from the personal foul, then add on the 15. First and 10. Boom. See? I'm a teacher too. I should go work for that homework hotline. Hit me up.
Put you on the phone with Sonic. Figure you'll be paying them a visit after the game anyway. So 1st and 10. And the clock runs. Green Hill just trying to bleed this thing out, get home and dry off. Owens Jr., big hole across midfield. Owens Jr., one man to beat, and he gets him down inside the 5. Huge run by the senior running back, but how about the hustle from Javion Link to sprint him down before he gets into the end zone?
Yeah, I don't want to overdo it praising Javion Link because, what a run, what a read, what an effort, too, by Owens Jr., but there's nothing that gets me more fired up than something because, imagine we're in a close game. That could be a game-saving play. I'd also tell Owens Jr., unhitch the trailer, youngin'. No getting hocked down.
62 yards for Nick Owens Jr.
Listed as a receiver, but taking a lot of snaps out of the back position.
Typically plays running back when Aaron Mattingly is healthy. But Mattingly out tonight, and Owens Jr. being kicked out to his wide receiver spot, but big run at running back there, and Cannon Burrows will take his first knee of the game.
One more ought to do it, Lucas.
Well, that should be enough. 30 seconds on the game clock, 33 on the play clock. And Green Hill will celebrate a 26-13 victory to stay undefeated, improving to 6-0 on the season, 3-0 in Region 4 6A play. A big-time performance in all 3 phases for the Green Hill Hawks tonight, as they will head back home to prepare for another road trip within the region at Warren County. Gallatin falls to 2-4, 1-2 in region play. They will head to Cookeville in week 7. Interesting football game tonight, a wacky one, which we love. Let's take a look back at our Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game. And it's got to be the play they call TikTok. The fake punt in the first half, as it was Omeza Danian running it across for the first down. That turned into a touchdown drive on a 20-yard TD by Zach Cartwright. And the special teams coming up big for Green Hill.
Probably the best thing I heard when I was in college was, or at least the thing that I learned that stuck with me the most, is that there are no original plays. The second something is thought of, everyone steals it immediately. The Steelers, they revolutionized the running game with Duo and Le'Veon Bell. The Eagles with their Philly special. Now we have TikTok.
When we come back, we'll give you our player of the game, and Sammy Kincaid will award the trophy to the victorious Green Hill Hawks. 26-13, the final. Green Hill wins at Gallatin 26-13 as the Hawks remain undefeated. Welcome back. It's post-game coverage on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law, as we get to our Bart Durham Player of the Game. It was a monster night from the Green Hill quarterback, Cannon Burrows, but how about some love for the defensive tackle, Luca Nash, 5 TFLs.
I mentioned it half jokingly, half serious, because, I mean, Cannon Burrows, what can we say about it? He's the bell cow and the spirit of the team. But Luca Nash, from start to finish of the game, made such an impact. Gallatin struggled to get anything going on offense, and Nash just he was a terror all night.
Spearheading a phenomenal performance by a Green Hill defense that has had an excellent 2024 season to this point. As we'll send it down to Sammy Kincaid alongside the winning coach of Green Hill, Josh Crouch.
Coach, technical difficulties in the rain, but really hard-fought game, especially by your defense, really in the second half right there. Ton of turnovers and I've never heard of the player of the game being a defensive tackle. Luca Nash got player of the What can you say say about your defense in this second half?
I think when we started off, big play down the sideline. We could have went two ways there. We could have kind of hung our head, but thought defensively we came back, made some great corrections, Coach Long and staff, and Luka is one of the 4 or 5 guys that deserve the credit because that defensive line played really well. Secondary, I think, had 4 turnovers tonight and 2 big goal line stands, so really proud of them.
Well, congratulations, Coach. I'm going to hand this to you so you guys can celebrate the big win.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Green Hill Hawks celebrate at Gallatin. Some technical difficulties on Sammy Kincaid's microphone, but you got the picture. Green Hill undefeated after a 26-13 victory at Gallatin. Friday Night Rivals will be on fall break next week, so no telecast a week from tonight, but we'll be back Friday, October 11th at 7 p.m. for another exciting matchup right here on MyTV 30 Sports. And of course, all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham Injury Law, and Sonic, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to the 2024 Friday Night Rivals telecast. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Green Hill High School and our host, Gallatin High School. For my partner, Bruno Reagan, and Sammy Kincaid, our Cylon reporter, and our incredible crew for braving these conditions tonight, I'm Lucas Panzica saying we will see you 2 weeks from tonight. Final score from Gallatin, the Green Hill Hawks 23-26, the Gallatin Green Wave 13.